technical guy in the world, but I can turn on my computer every now and again. But trying to figure out Steem when I jumped in was really, really complicated. So I think everybody talks about adoption and we need to do this for Steem and we need to use it more in the apps and whatever. But getting people just to join it and like say hi is a challenge. So I kind of put my, put myself in the shoes of the new Steemian that was coming on board saying, okay, what can we do to help them get familiar with the basics, the stupid, simple stuff that a lot of us might take for granted because we've been here. But, someone who's brand new doesn't even know what Steem Power is. They don't even understand what delegation is. They don't even know what a wallet is for that matter. So what SteemSavvy is, it's Steem for the rest of us. It's for the people that may not be the blockchain experts. They may not be the computer science PhD guys that, can look at code and understand it. It's for people that just want to use it as a platform, use the apps as a platform, share their content, and get familiar with what I think is one of the most powerful blockchains on the planet, but also social media platforms on the planet. So that's SteemSavvy in a nutshell, is to help onboard new Steemians that are brand new to it for not complicating it and not making it too confusing where people are trying to figure out how to, just say hi. So that's SteemSavvy.
Love it. I like the pitch. Is it a DApp? Is it a platform? Is it an SMT? What are the plans for it?
So the plans, it's its own separate kind of entity right now, and it's basically a website training platform. So you would sign up. It's not integrated on the blockchain. There's plans for it. There's no SMT plans or anything like that right now. Right now, who knows what's going to happen down the road? But as is, it's a platform that you would sign up to. You put your email address in, you choose a password, you say sign up, and it takes you through step-by-step lessons. Now, what's unique about SteemSavvy is the way that we drip feed content, drip feed marketing, drip feed education, whoever came up with these terms, I don't know. But the idea behind it is you can't get the level step 2 until you pass step 1. You can't get to step 3 until you get to pass 1 and get to 2, then get to 3. So information overload, I think, again, is a problem with Steem. You jump on, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So we take people slowly and surely through the process. And look at this. Look at all the SteemSavvy people coming in. God bless you. So,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
So we're going to give them a chance in a second. Or if you guys, I say in a second, but that's untrue. If you guys have questions or comments that have come in to interact and say hey to John and talk about SteemSavvy, please feel free to jump in, say hey, ask your questions, make your comments. My question that came up out of that, I'm looking at the Steem basics and kind of what you have here in one of your posts. Mm-hmm. Would you recommend that people do this? So they start an account. Would you recommend that any person new to Steem should go through the SteemSavvy process?
Well, yeah, I think everybody, even if you've already joined and you're a couple of weeks in or a couple of months in, or even in some of our cases a couple of years in, it's good refresher no matter what. But it's just it's breaking down the basics. Like if you look at the Steem basics training, it's literally starting at what your wallet is and what's the difference between SBD, Steem Power, and Steem. How do you transfer funds to different accounts? Delegation, just really, really basic stuff that we might know, hey, we get it. We've been here for a while, but the new person, it will really help them get a better understanding, I think, of this platform and, the potential of it. Now that's just one module. We have 4 modules and each of them has, a couple of them have got 8 or 9 lessons. The other one has like 4 or 5, and we're always constantly adding new stuff because, again, I don't want information overload. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of interesting that I say that. Meanwhile, I throw gamification on top of it, and you can unlock badges. So you get to a certain point in the lesson, and there's a badge, and like it's insane. I'm sitting there saying, hey, we should take our time. But then I go and throw badges in like an idiot, right? Now everybody's like, oh, I got a badge. Like people are sending me notes on Discord. Like, I got a badge for doing this. And I found the 404 badge here. Oh, wow. It's like, and I get it, and that's exciting, but that's a tool to engage people more, to keep them going in the lessons, so that they get to step 3. There's an incentive to get to step 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to get that module completed so you get your badge, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's not meant to be go in it and do it all at once, but some people are addicted to that.
No, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. Do they have to have a Steemit account to plug in and join SteemSavvy?
No, and this is the problem, because one of the first lessons in Steem Basics, I say it might take some time to get your account. So I'm promoting this. I haven't yet, but I have a big plan. I'm going to Steam Fest. So when I get back from Steam Fest, I'm going to have my off-chain promotions going, where I'm going to be spending money on Facebook. I'm going to be spending money. I have mailing lists of hundreds of thousands of people that I'll send to get people familiar, and they'll join this because they'll be like, "Oh, this is cool. This looks great." And then, what the hell is Steem? I have to sign up for what? So you can go through the lessons without having a Steem account, because I mentioned that. I say, you might spend a couple of days or even a week without a Steem account. And then what are you going to do? So I actually tell people to go read the white paper while they're waiting. Like, it's so bad.
Well, I mean, by the time they get through the white paper, their account should be set up.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's something that I followed a model that I've used in my off-chain businesses for years, as well as we launched Bitcoin Bully earlier this year. Same type of idea. Stupid, simple steps to help people understand it, that they may not have a working knowledge of it yet, but they're attracted to it. They see the potential of it. And, with the community and with engagement, we'll be there. We'll be there for people in 3 months from now, in a year from now, just helping them along the way get familiar with it. So nothing over the top, and nothing saying, hey, you got to go spend money. There's no pitches. There's no, you can join. It's completely free. There's
Sure.
nothing to buy. So it's fun, man. It's my way of, I believe in Steem, and I believe in the community of Steem, and I'll bust my butt to get it out there. So yeah.
Who helped you put the modules together, or did you put all the modules together on your own?
Yeah, I got a partner. Blaine Jones is kind of my partner in crime here. Me and him are. He's coding it. I'm just saying this is what I need, and I'll do all the videos and all the modules, and he'll get what's in my head and put it out there. But I've had huge support. Guys like Eric here and guys like Richard. These guys have helped launch Bitcoin Bully when we did back in January. Of course, at all-time highs, because we're just epic like that. Like, let's launch something when everybody loves crypto. That was really hard to do. So this is tougher, right? Steem at 80 cents is a lot harder sell than Steem at $8.
Yeah, for real. Let's hear from Eric and Richard. Tell us a little bit about your either background or what drew you into SteemSavvy, and kind of what your thoughts and hopes are on the project.
Well, I've been in internet marketing since 1994. Age myself right there. That's for lastature. But I met John, good grief, 10, 15 years ago now, John? Something like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And sometimes he has other businesses online, but not internet as well, that I've been involved with for years. And when he started, he joined Steem, and after him bugging me for about a month, I joined. I think he joined in December, and I think it was sometime in January I finally broke down and joined. And so we do things, and we work together on different projects, and SteemSavvy's a really good one. I wish, to be honest with you, SteemSavvy had been around when we joined. It would have made a whole heck of a lot easier to grab a handle on it. And I think it's something that is needed, and hopefully everybody will get behind and support it. Other than that, I'm an internet marketer. I'm on disability. So I'm usually around somewhere. But other than that, I tag along to see what John's up to, and hopefully after he gets back and we get this built up, he's got another project in mind too. And I'm already involved in that one. So we'll see. The new year, I think, is going to be a rather busy one for us.
I think the new year is going to be busy for a lot of Steemians and people in the crypto sphere. So cool. Thanks, Eric. Go ahead.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Did I cut you off? Were you going to say anything else?
No, I think I got it covered.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for jumping on the pile.
The steaming pile. Still the greatest name in the history of any show ever. Just saying.
That is high praise coming from you, sir. We'll take it. And how about you, Richard? Did you want to chime in or say hello at all?
I know he's there.
I know he's trying to find the unmute button.
Well, we did a show. Me and him did our little crypto cast today. So I know
it looks like he might not actually be connected to audio at all.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
I see that.
Maybe he hasn't got it turned on.
No, he has one. He has one.
Yeah, I had to change the microphones around again.
Hey,
sorry.
I use a different mic for Zoom than I do for our other stuff.
gotcha.
But I don't know who this John Olson character is. I don't know where you found him, but no, I've known John since he was had hair, way back then. But yeah, SteemSavvy. It's an exciting project. We kind of been kicking around thoughts about doing something like this for a while, even when we were still developing Bitcoin Bully, and thinking about, man, this could go, and so he finally got with Blaine, got the script set up, and started cranking out videos. Man's a machine, let me tell you. Yeah, put him behind the mic and away he goes. So it's good. I mean, I'm excited. I think SteemSavvy is going to solve a problem, and that's always the end goal, right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
So it's video based. Are there tests and quizzes?
No, it's there's obviously we're hoping people go through the lessons and complete it, but because it's not on the blockchain, there's no real way to confirm it. We've got some stuff that we do where there's certain tasks inside of it where you got to put your username in, or you got to fill out a form, or you can't just run through it. There's timers before you can progress to the next step. But I mean, you wouldn't. I don't think people would get a lot of value if they could just run through everything without actually going through the lessons. I'm really respectful of people's time. So me and Rich, when we get behind the camera and we're doing our podcast, we'll go on for 30 minutes. But I tried to make sure that the lessons were 5 to 10 minutes max. I mean, I just didn't want massive, huge, 30-minute lessons on SBD and people listening to me for 30 minutes and putting them to bed. So all of the lessons are bite-sized chunks. Again, that's part of the design of the program, to keep people engaged, to make them see hey, I'm actually accomplishing things. I'm getting through these lessons. I'm learning stuff, and I'm actually doing things. It's not just, I'm watching this guy talk for, look at that. There's a screenshot of Steem. Great. It's actual action. Go out, do it. Go and use DTube, use Vim, use Active, use Steepshot, use all of this stuff that's out there, and get familiar with it. But again, hoping not to confuse people and overwhelm them.
Well, we have the Discord too, so that if people they need help or they can't understand something, instead of trying to explain everything in a 5-minute video, they can come in and ask John or me or anybody else in there, for help, and we'll straighten it out as good as we can. So there's other resources besides just a video that people can avail themselves of.
I like that. Any questions from any of our other simulcasters?
Yeah, I'm curious to know how long Eric and Richard have been on Steem for.
Oh, I joined a month after John. I think John
Okay.
joined in December.
Right, you were January. Yeah.
Was it? And I was about a month. I think it was January sometime, latter part of January. I think Richard. I think joined the same time as John did.
Nice. Okay.
Was I right there, Richard? Also, I'm gonna put a plug in for SteemSavvy here in the Discord group. There's some neat prizes you can win in that Discord group. SBI,
Mm-hmm.
you can win SBI in there.
Nice.
You just have to be active in there, and we have SBI angels who can come around and award you SBI. So it's really worth it. And also, you can, for members of the Discord, our Discord group, we have a separate section where they can put in their latest blog posts on Steem, so they can do a little of their advertising of their own product as well. So there's all kinds of interesting things that you can find on the Discord group as well.
So you guys worked on a previous project. You said it was Bitcoin Bully. I see a little logo in the back behind John there. What did that revolve around? Because I'm curious to know. And I mean, when people get into Bitcoin, cryptos, and just this whole idea of the blockchain, you know, it, uh, it tends to be towards either the technically savvy or the younger crowd. So I'm curious to know how you've been involved in blockchain, because it's fascinating. I love seeing just a obviously blockchain and all of these solutions that are coming to us are supposed to be made for everybody. And really, like, there shouldn't be a bridge to even get on. Obviously, you guys are solving one of those problems, becoming a bridge. Education is one of the most crucial parts to helping people get on board and stuff. um but how have you been involved in the past, Eric and Richard, with blockchain and just the tech in general?
Well, we started Bitcoin Bully, which is basically takes you by the hand and teaches you some of the something about blockchain for the person who hasn't got a clue
Nice.
and doesn't know what they're doing at all. We take them through the different levels, cloud mining, all the way through to a larger investment from browser mining, different sections, again, drip fed, so that you go through and you're not overwhelmed all at once. And that was started. When did we start that, John? December?
No, I was January-ish, February.
January, February? Okay. Before that, John was involved in crypto a few years back. I have been dabbling in it on and off, mostly off, to be honest about it, up until about November, December of last year. When things in the other business started to slow down, I was looking for something to do, and that's the way we go.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm an old fart. I'm 62. So you talk about the younger crowd. Yeah, well, that's not me. I have a tech background a little bit. I used to write programming for Microsoft back in the 90s. So I've been around a little. But no, Bitcoin Bully was there again. That was another brainstorm in a Zoom room, actually, that John and I were in. We were just kicking around ideas one night, well, one morning, about 4 o'clock.
Right.
And
right. Yeah.
yeah, all of a sudden we're writing on whiteboards and taking notes, and he's sending off emails to Blaine Jones, and voila, Bitcoin Bully was born. So it's just it's just one of them things. But yeah, it's a bridge for people that like me, or somebody that's tech savvy too. I mean, they may not be aware of the different aspects of that. So it's that bridge. It's saying, here, just like SteemSavvy, it's saying, here, let me take your hand and kind of show you around. And then, once you get the hang of it a little bit, then if you need help, we'll help you move on beyond that. So same premise as SteemSavvy.
That's awesome. You guys should have like a little, like maybe call yourself mentors on your Discord or something.
Oh yeah, watch. I'll show everybody the way. No problem. Trust me with your Steam account. No, it's been a blast, man. I mean, it's just
that's awesome.
The worst thing, I think, that if I could go roll back the time, it was when we launched Bitcoin Bully. Bitcoin Bully was at all-time highs. And I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist to say, hey, here's something new in crypto you should check out, when people are Lambo dreaming and stuff. It changed. I mean, when we got started, there were, cloud mining was the thing. That was where everybody was going. Now it's just like, people still cloud mine, really. So things need to adapt. Things need to change. I was involved in mining Bitcoins. There was a time when we had 50 Bitcoins and we sold them. I think I told you guys this story when I was on first. We got in, mined them for like about $100 each is kind of when we got in. Sold them because at $200 or $300, they would never go higher. Sold them all then, whatever. So don't take my advice ever for financial stuff. Ever.
Yeah.
I will go broke with you. Yeah. So.
That's cool. So, what do you do you guys have anything collateral wise that, like, if we see because my thinking is, like, if we see someone that is new to Steem, like, going and being able to have a markup that's pre-made that, like, says, hey, I see you're new, you just didn't introduce yourself, maybe you should check out SteemSavvy.
Well, like Eric mentioned, me, Eric, and Rich, we all come from this internet marketing background. So with internet marketing comes referral links. Yay, everybody loves the referral affiliate links. We love them. Now, that being said, we do have referral links in SteemSavvy, but there's nothing really to refer. So it's not like you refer someone to SteemSavvy and you're going to get money. There's nothing there. There's no money being exchanged or anything.
Yeah.
Now, I know Steem Monsters has a referral program. That could be something where we might look into, like, adding, when we talk about Steem Monsters inside of the training. But there's tons of little tools you can use, little banners. I got this little image behind me at the top, what I call the Savvy Cycle here. That's going to be promoted a lot when we get it out there to the masses. But for someone that's, like, poking around Steem in the introduce yourself tag, which I highly recommend people do because it's such a great place to go meet new people. Just say, hey, here's my link. Go check out SteemSavvy, and you don't really get anything, but you get to spread kind of a helpful hand to new Steemians. So hopefully, I mean, it's not. Again, SteemSavvy is 6 days old, right? And I really have long tail vision when I do businesses and when I start websites. I look years down the road. I'm like, this thing is going to be completely different in a year from now than it is right now. We'll adapt, we'll change, we'll grow with it. So right now, yeah, you could throw your referral link up. There may not be any direct compensation for you doing so right now, but who knows? I mean, who knows what happens down the road? SMTs, possibility, something. I don't know. I have no idea. So
knowing John Olson, use your referral link. Somewhere along the road, it'll be useful for something. Either prizes or he'll come up with something.
Well, the SBI stuff, the Steem Basic Income thing, I'm a big believer in Steem Basic Income. And I met with Joseph, the creator of it, in Toronto for Steem creators past couple of months. And I saw his vision. I understand what Steem Basic Income's trying to do. And I was like, you know what? This is great. Let's help other people by being active. If you're going to be active on my blog, if you're going to be active in SteemSavvy, if you're going to be active in our Discord, we set it up where we're calling certain people SBI angels, where we'll give you a share in SBI just for being active. because you guys know, I mean, this is Steeming Pals, this amazing, one of the hardest things to do for anything like this is build community. It's tough, man. It's really, really hard. This is the one thing that you can work years at, and it could disappear in a minute if you abuse that trust with community. So community is so big for us at SteemSavvy and what we're trying to do. So just to get them hooked, we're like, let's do the SBI stuff, because we can drop SBI to people. They can start stacking it, and it's not going to change their lives per se right away. But the more you're doing this, the more shares you start generating by being active. It's a community building tool, and that's big. And you guys know, Steeming Pile community is huge, and having people show up every week and taking part. The least we think we can do is just say, hey, thanks, check this out, here's your little reward. And that's tough, because there's a whole lot of people that are trying to get that penny upvote, and that's tough when you have that monetary compensation that kind of sits on top of everything, where you're trying to get legitimate interaction and engagement, but people are just trying to be nice to you so you can they'll upvote you, or you upvote them, right? So it's tough, but it's part of the Steem ecosystem. So we just got to move with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I love the integration with SBI. We had Joseph on in September to talk about that platform. So yeah, currently he's manually curating or manually doing it, moving towards automation, and so that's really cool stuff. I like this. I think it definitely we can reach people that do not know about Steem, but I also think we can onboard newbies, like you said, and then even like for brush ups, or just to be a part of the platform and be on the website and build that community. So help Steemians from the ground up. ESP asked a question, and I think it was more of and he's in here. You can ask the question too, ESP, but I'll try to answer it, and then if there's more to answer, the difference between Bitcoin Bully and SteemSavvy is that SteemSavvy is dedicated towards people that are new to Steem, or people that might not know about Steem, and he put together a modular-based platform that helps new people and other people just understand the Steem ecosystem better. Now, as far as how it differs from Bitcoin Bully, I would leave that to you guys.
Yeah, Bitcoin Bully is much more. You don't even know what blockchain means. Check it out.
Okay.
So, you don't even know what a wallet address is.
Is that still active? Is your Bitcoin Bully stuff still active?
Yeah, no, Bitcoin Bully again went through changes. When we built this, it's all-time highs, and people are making money hand over fist with Genesis mining and, doing the cloud mining stuff. Yep. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we took out because we're trying to figure out a better bridge. Like Rich was saying, these are bridge programs. They're to take the complete newbie blank slate and just get them semi-comfortable, not experts, just comfortable, where they feel like they can talk to you about certain things Bitcoin related or blockchain related. So it'll change. Right now we got a whole bunch of the second module is kind of in disarray, because we had Genesis mining and what was the other one? What was I forget the name of the big one. Hashflare. We had Hashflare in there. I mean, and then what happened to Hashflare? God knows what happened to them. They're just poof. I mean, so it changed, and I didn't want to send people down this rabbit hole of who knows where this stuff is going to be. So Bitcoin Bully, it still has very basic stuff like, hey, here's a wallet. But to be brutally honest with you, my focus for the past 6 months to a year now has been Steem. I mean, I'm just so Steem is all I think about. I dream about. I have the damn.
Look at that! You just knocked over something. You just knocked over your desks.
I did. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just all I think about. It's.
So you're going to Steem Fest. When is Steem Fest?
The 7th of November. So about 2 weeks away. 2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm going to Poland in November, because that's where everybody wants to go in November.
Let's face it, John. You're just addicted to Steem.
Oh yeah. It's depressing. My wife just looks at me. Yeah, exactly. My wife just looks at me and just shakes her head. She's like, "Are you talking that Steem shit again?" I'm like, yeah,
I am. Yeah. Honey, I have an idea.
What a great idea. Just trust me. Yeah, it was $8 a couple months ago. It's 80 cents now, but just Don't worry.
Now, I know you said you weren't looking at SMTs. Jiu-Jitsu on my feed said that SMTs will make referrals a much better thing on Steem. Do you have plans to at least explore the SMT options?
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
Blaine, who's not here, is my partner in these things, and he's the techie guy that totally looks at stuff and goes, "Oh yeah, I get it." Like I showed him a bunch of things on some server stuff we were working on today. To me, it's just gobbledygook. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, yeah, okay, sure. He's got it figured out like this. Like, it took him 2 minutes. He's like, no, that didn't work. Okay, now it works. So he can take all that. He read the papers. He understands it. It's just how we're going to implement it. That's the big thing. How we're going to do it. And obviously it's relying on, SMTs to actually get launched. But that would be awesome, man. I would love to do it. And just like I have, this is my idea, just shooting the poop. I mean, you see it's modular education. So imagine if you got, rewarded for completing steps. So you got to one module and you got a coin from the SMT that we would offer or something like that. That would be cool, man. That would be a lot better than a badge. I don't know about you guys, but badges are great, but crypto is better.
A coin per video or a coin per thing that you go through, then a badge still.
Right, yeah.
When you complete it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just off the top of the head, right? I mean,
yeah, and then when they complete their first post, you get one, or their 10th post, or whatever. They get a reward. It encourages them not only to take the training, but to actually be active on the blockchain.
Yeah, and if you guys are, I love the education aspect of it. Really, really do, man. So kudos and hats off to you guys for working on that portion of it. You guys should maybe implement like a little micro certificate, of completion or something. That'd be cool. Yeah,
I'm writing that down, dude.
That's cool. Thanks. It must have left my brain and went into yours, because I thought about that like 10 minutes ago. So you own it. You said it first.
Nonsense.
Very, very Udemy-ish, right? I mean,
that's what happens in here on the steaming pile. We just interconnected through the webs and we just steal each other's thoughts. So you guys out there, oh, go ahead.
It's that blockchain thing, man. We're just tuned in and it's all going down. And all these blocks on the screen, and it's just, we're validating idea. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Richard, you want to know something about idea validation? Like, I could listen to you talk, because every time you talk, your picture comes up and it says think happy. And so I just immediately am in a better spot.
Hey, man, how can you go wrong with SpongeBob, right? I mean, honestly.
Rich has had that picture as his avatar for probably 30 years now. I mean, it's just like...
it hasn't been 30 years. That was the last time I was up there and visited SpongeBob in Minnesota. So that was in 2009. Jeez, man.
Jiu-Jitsu said the certification could be done through an actual post. Then it's on the blockchain, and you can split the payout with the student who gets the cert.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's writing that down, Jiu-Jitsu. He's writing that down.
This down, man.
And just
I literally, I came with a pad of paper because I knew you guys would. You guys are the smart ones, okay? I'm the Geico Gecko, okay? I jump on camera and go, "Hey guys, doing my shit." I mean, that's literally like, I have no substance at all, okay? Let's be honest. I mean, I'm here to learn. So I'll write this down.
Everyone's got a different perspective, so they all come up with their own ideas. That's why we like the pile.
Hell yeah.
Everyone contributes.
And if you guys weren't paying attention, John just gave us a great clip to use in future marketing. He called all of us smart.
Heck yeah.
First time in a while anyone's ever called me that, so I appreciate it.
I like you guys. I like the steaming file. I think it's probably this. Okay, can I rant a little bit? You guys okay with this?
Oh yeah,
we love rant.
It's on the blockchain, so this will come back Steam Fest. It'll bite me in my ass. Has anybody noticed the epic posts that go on the Steem It blog? So when they do stuff, they're talking about resource credits, and they did one today, resource credits, and they talk about Hard Fork 20 was obviously this, and they're always. Has anybody there said, you know what we should do with our blog? Let's start doing untechy shit. Let's start doing things like coverage of Steemians. Here's someone using this, a feature on someone who's developing an app or something. I mean, I love blockchain. I get it. You guys are smarter than everybody on the planet. I get it. But what blockchain needs is people. And without people using it, actually using this crap and feeling like they're a part of something, they're just going to ignore it. So
how about putting it in English so most of the people on the blockchain will understand it?
Right. And I mean, that's a great rant, right? Because it's clear that Steem Inc. wants other dApps and companies and groups to do all of that for them. They don't want to do any of it because they're not interested.
They've got all the resources in the world to do this stuff. I mean, just feature one Steemian who's doing something.
Yeah, like, it's an underutilized page. I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm just a dumb marketer. What do I know? I mean, you know, heaven forbid you highlight your community. And I get it. I get they're under a ton of pressure and they've got to bring out this SMT stuff. And the techie guys in the blockchain love that stuff. They'll eat that stuff up.
Yep.
But if you want adoption, if you want people to actually use this shit, and if you want to compete with Facebook and these who get people, Facebook is as scummy as you might think they are. They understand people. They understand relationships. They have the smartest guys in the room, but they also got the people that understand people. So what blockchain needs to do, Steem specifically, is bring more people-focused people into positions where they can share the message. Anyways,
I think that they're thinking that SteemSavvy is going to do that for them, John, and so they're not really going to have
pressure,
to.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
interject, but it seems to me that both of your projects have this learning element. I mean, the tutorial aspect, call it what you will. You get the idea. And all great teachers are, in a sense, they create this missing link. They're bridges. And I think that actually the future of computing and networks and digitizations, and I always talk about those things because that's the bundle, is somehow we have to make this where it facilitates real human connections and real bonding, because we're zipping data all over the world. We're more globally connected than we ever are, and as Malcolm Gladwell points out, because of all the noise, we're immune, and because of the way we go about it, we're more isolated than ever. Do it. You're into the teaching thing. Somehow humanize it, and you'll be doing the main thing that needs to be done here. And what you talked about is adoption, and it's really just getting with people and going, try this, look at this. You don't have to inundate them with a whole bunch of techno crap, a bunch of techno jive that they have really no interest in. Most people want something that has a utility and that they enjoy.
Exactly.
If they're not going to do it, that creates an opportunity for you, and you're already moving there. So go kids, go. That was my pep talk.
And just so everybody knows, ESP Change isn't wearing a robe; he's wearing a gi.
Nice.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. That is a light blue bathrobe.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a bathrobe. That is
yeah.
Damn
Wait, are those coffee mugs on your bathrobe?
That is the coolest bathrobe I've ever seen.
Oh, that's the best, man. I need those.
Actually, Jujitsu's here. He's watching, so he'll let us know if that's a gi or not.
Oh, you could.
What do you think, Jujitsu?
Like a gi, that's for sure. You could collar choke you for sure, right?
I'm tougher than I look. You should see me MMA.
Oh, I look forward to that pay-per-view. ESP Change versus Ned in MMA.
About my robe. This is, interestingly enough, this is the robe that Brad Pitt wears in Fight Club.
Okay.
I swear to God.
So are we admitting that it's a robe?
Yeah, it's a robe.
Actually, and Jiu-Jitsu said a robe always doubles as a gi, and you can for sure collar choke with it.
There you go.
So
been
confirmed, guys. It is the robe in Fight Club.
Yeah. So back in 1999, my friend Gina and I were watching Fight Club in the theater, and there's this thing where Edward Norton, his apartment blows up mysteriously. He goes to live with Brad Pitt's character, Tyler Durden. They're in this condemned ass fucking house that's falling apart all around them, and there's a problem with the electricity. and Brad Pitt's character's in the basement and water up to his knees, messing with this electrical box, and he's wearing a robe, and I'm there in the theater with my friend Gina, and she turns to me and she goes, "Oh my God!" We turn to each other. She goes, "That's your mom's robe," and I was like, "Oh my God, it is! Brad Pitt's wearing my mom's robe." So I went home. And a few days later, I was hanging out with my mom, and I was like, "Can I have that robe?" And she's like, "Oh, sure, you can have it." I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Nice.
So that's the story of the robe.
Good story.
Done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway. Right. Okay.
Well, welcome to the
crypto
steaming
stuff.
pile, everybody. If you're
Good to
just
see
tuning
you
in,
File.
we have John G. Olson from SteemSavvy, and we're just having a conversation around that and other miscellaneous things here on the pile. Who has a question to round us back to SteemSavvy, if there are any more, or who has comments from SteemSavvy that have not been said?
Tell me a little bit about the roadmap going forward. You said that you were highlighting some stuff and you were trying to educate people on that. And as it turns out, looking at it now, because I understand technology is moving fast and it's changing all the time. So you've learned a bit. You're not going to highlight that anymore. What's a little bit more about the roadmap? I'm curious.
So the big thing is that I'm going to Steam Fest with a purpose. This is what's funny about Steam, right? Everybody says we need more engagement, and all the whales are, going to throw the middle finger to the bid bots and this and this and this. Meanwhile, you go and you create things on Steam that really don't get noticed unless you spend a couple of $100s on bid bots to get them out there. I mean, it's really, really tough to get it in front of people unless you have big bank or you come on board with millions of following you on YouTube. So Steam Fest for me is going to go there to kind of meet and greet, shake hands, kiss babies, the whole nine. Get SteemSavvy with my awesome NFC business cards. Yeah, you can go and tap this and it'll pop SteemSavvy up on your phone.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to Poland to get with the people that could get SteemSavvy out there on Steam. Off of Steam, I got plans to, again, be in internet marketing background, very familiar with advertising online and how to drive traffic to whatever websites. It's more education based off chain to say, hey, this is what Steam is. This is why you want to be in Steam. The pitch there going forward is why you want to be on Steam. Look at all the awesome apps that are developed. The blockchain is and the rewards is a bonus. Look at what we're building here, especially with all the attention with Facebook and centralization and stuff getting, it's time for the decentralized option for social media to be out there, and Steam can lead the way. It really can. So that's the off-chain stuff, is to go forward. I've got, email campaigns ready to go, Facebook ad campaigns ready to go. But going to Steam Fest is big for me on-chain, because I want these guys that have got the big bank and the big influence on Steam to say, you know what, this is something people can use. I'm not looking for delegation. I'm not looking for anything like that. I mean, it'd be great. Hey, Mr. Delegation, you want to throw me a couple hundred foul? Cool. But it's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to get more people to know Steam. And if they're on Steam and they're lost, I want to capture those people before they give up. They're on Steam. If they took a week or two to get their account, they still don't know what SBD is. They have no idea what Steam Power is. Delegation is just absolute insanity. They don't get it. I want to capture those guys. And the way I do that on chain is by getting not in bed with these people that have got the influence, but just to get them to see the potential and going forward, just getting more people to adopt this stuff and actually use it. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
Gotcha. So Jiu-Jitsu just came online, and I was just going to ask his question that he put in chat, but I must not have been asking it fast enough, so we decided to come on and ask it live. So we're going to give him a minute to do that. In the meantime, what do you have? I saw you had a section for dApps. Is Vim or live streaming or the different ways that, I know you mentioned ActiveFit earlier, or Steep Shot, all that other stuff. How do you incorporate live streaming into your discussions of SteemSavvy?
Well, so Vim, when here, do I even bring this up? Do I
Oh
dare
yeah,
bring
you
it up?
can. We
Okay.
we joke about it.
So when I
we still
started,
feel abandoned,
yeah,
but we're dealing
when
with
I
it.
started developing this stuff, there was this program, D-Lino, let's call them. Yeah, they
Lino
were
beans.
yes, we all the elephant in the room. So I was developing SteemSavvy, getting all these videos done, and of course I did the video for D-Lino, and then they pull the great ta-da, we're gone. Kind of put a monkey wrench for that. So Vim, even though I've been messing with it, I still haven't adopted as much as I'd like to, which is really weird because I love live streaming. I mean, that's kind of what I did before I found Steem. Live streaming was my thing. I loved it. So Vim is going to have its own section. It's going to have, and there's tons of other stuff that I talk about, with ActiFit, Steep Shot. A lot of people want me to talk about Steam Peak and Busy, even though I don't really use it. So I don't want to talk about the stuff I don't use. That's big. So going forward, I got to start using this stuff more. But the apps that are on there that I cover is
Gotcha.
obviously
one easy that's cool, and I appreciate you saying that. I think one easy way to tackle that then is to just make the module a little bit more evergreen. So just call it live streaming and use the ones that focus on live streaming, or call it different front ends to push the blockchain out, and you can cover all of them.
Right.
So
yeah, no, that'd be great. I'd love to do it because again, live streaming is a big part of what I do, what I believe in, and Vim is great. It's just I haven't used them as much as the other guys yet.
Yeah,
yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And we talked a little bit about that when we first came in. Is like Gone Rogue is streaming to BitTube, and I'm streaming to Vim, and Sean, when he streams, I don't know where he's going to stream next, but I'll unmute him. I muted him earlier. Are you streaming from your phone?
I'm not, because like I said, I can't seem to get it to allow, even if I mute the video and audio from either Streamlab or Zoom, it doesn't like it, and it thinks that the other app's using it and shuts it off. So I haven't gotten that to work yet. But next week I should be back on to streaming once the computer's out of the shop. And I don't know where I'm going to go. I was thinking about doing DTube, and then they took down the option. So hopefully they're working on it, and they'll launch it again, and it'll be working. That'd be cool, and then I'll consider that. But until then, I am kind of it's up in the air where I'll go next. Vim TV, if nothing else, though. But
Gotcha. And Jiu-Jitsu, can you say hi yet? Can you unmute and say hello? Are you able to?
Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
Hey, how's it going, man? I haven't asked your question yet. I was waiting for you to ask it live, but I can
no problem.
if you need me to.
Say that again.
I said, but I can if you need me to.
Oh no, yeah, I was typing that out so I didn't lose it, but I was planning on joining the call once I had some stuff out of the way. But yeah, I just wanted to ask John what his idea was, because he mentioned the blog and his rant not being used to promote current Steemians, but in general, what I've thought about a lot lately is, as far as attracting and growing the new audience on Steemit, what type of groups do you think that we should target? Do you think that you go after the current YouTuber, blogger, live streamer on Twitch, or do you go after big names in entertainment or other types of groups that we think that could really get on board with this type of social media as far as communities and SMTs and things like that?
So a lot of the big name, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're already on Steem. I mean, big time authors like Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's on Steem. Grant Cardone, he's on Steem. Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know if he is or not, but those are the big social media names out there. They had the Hodge twins were on, DTube back at all-time highs because they were like, oh, we're going to come here, and they went back to YouTube. So I think that as the dApps get a lot more user-friendly, it's easy for, more people to start signing up to this stuff. you're going to see a lot more of those creators kind of coming back and saying, okay, because they couldn't say, hey, come and watch me on DTube. Meanwhile, the DTube stuff is, not loading properly or this and this and this. Again, that'll all change. The further I think this stuff gets developed, the better. But I would attract niche specific. Go after the gamers, like D. Lino. Heaven forbid we don't mention them too much, but Vim is in a great position to say, you know what, we're an option compared to Twitch. Let's go find one of these guys and put a package together and say, hey, come to us, let us feature you, let's build with you. You could be the face of this, like sponsorship, just like any other social media platform that's trying to get or some kind of product that's trying to get out there. What do? They link themselves with someone that's known. So we could get niche specific. You can go to Instagram and find, Steep Shot can go to Instagram and find one of the big creators there and say, hey, check this out. This isn't an option. You don't need to stop what you're doing on Instagram, but look what we got here. This is cool. And I think the more that it's easier for people to access, you're going to see a lot more of that. But until we get it where people can actually sign up and they don't need to jump through hoops to get an account, we're still waiting for that. So.
And what about like Jiu-Jitsu said, he's like, how do we? Another thing is retention. Like sometimes people come here, they don't get a lot of support or promotion, and people don't stick around. Any thoughts from you or from anyone else on here on that?
Go ahead. I talk too much. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, I'm going to jump in here real quick. John and I have a friend of ours, Joel Com, who is on Steem It, and he kind of went all out on it for about a week. Really? And then the problem was that, like John said, getting new people on. The man has millions of followers, on Facebook and Twitter and everything else, but he couldn't figure out an easy way to transition those people onto the Steem blockchain. So that's been a biggest stumbling point. Now, Hard Fork 20, is going to solve that. We've still got some things to work out, I think, but that's going to be key to getting, the bigger players in here. Is it has to be simple for them to bring their people along with them, because they're going to want a large audience, type of a thing. And as far as retention, keeping people around, that's a difficult one to address, really, because everybody wants something different out of the community. Some people want a whole lot of people saying, hey, you're amazing, you're awesome, God, I love you. And then somebody else wants somebody that says, well, that's a great point, but, philosophically speaking, blah, blah, blah. So, they want interaction. They want people to really dig into it. And all that can be accomplished through Steem, but it's a matter of how do you relate that to people to use it. And whoever comes up with that concept, they can go out there and say, dude, I can give you the ideal situation. Yeah, call me. We need to talk. I have a program we'll plug you into, and we'll all do well here.
And things like, and hopefully Hard Fork 20 will solve this, getting a letter from Steem says you'll have your account in 1 to 4 weeks. In June and in October, you're still waiting to hear about that email.
And people just forget about it, right? It's out of sight, out of mind. Like, why am I going to wait around when I can go and watch what Uncle Bob is eating on Facebook?
Right. It happens to be my roommate
on Instagram.
She got approved for the account and is still waiting. I finally, after Hard Fork 20 Steem, the game.
Steam Monsters.
Thank you, Steam Monsters.
Way to go, ESP.
I went over there, paid $10, and got her an account.
Right.
Now I had to go. Her account was blank. Period. Nothing. So I had to put another. I put another $10 in and got her some Steem, so she could have some Steem power to do something. But if you just went to Steem, it's ridiculous how long it's taking for people to join. And you're right, John. They're just gonna. After 4 months, you finally get a letter. you're going to be running down your emails, and what the heck is that? Delete. I mean, they've gone wherever by then. See, I mean, how many thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, excuse me, have they lost because of
Right. Yep. And then, like you said earlier, John, is like also it's a lot harder to sell with the price where it's at. That doesn't affect anyone who's already here and like trying to continue to grow the community and make a name for themselves, but it is like when people look at it, they're like, "What?" And then they look at the rewards after their first post.
I clicked on a couple posts that were in like January and December from some of the bigger name guys on Steam, and you're looking 200, 300, not only the dollar amount of the post, but the comments, because everybody was wanting to get that upvote for 10 cents or whatever.
Right.
So you had 250 comments. Now you're lucky you get 25. Even the trending ones that paid $500 to get on the trending page, they're only getting 20 to 30 comments, unless it's a flag war. Then everybody and their mother starts commenting. But that's because it's the price. And it's not just Steam, it's crypto in general. I mean, this is what kills me is when, the Steam price is shit. Every crypto price is shit. And well, what it was to now. But
right.
That's the problem. It's crypto as a whole has gone down. So the attention span of people has gone to, shiny object. Let's go here now. We're done talking about this. Let's talk about this now. But if you get it, if you really believe in this project, you believe in crypto, you believe in blockchain, price be damned. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
It'd be 50 cents right now for Steam. I don't care. I'm still going to create. So.
Right. And we can't say anything bad about Vim anymore because Paulius is here. He's their new marketing person. Is your mic working? His headphones are you there? Are you live? Paulius likes to come in and we can't hear him. But he's not saying anything. Oh no, we can't hear you.
Ollie.
No. 1 second. Hey Vim, you guys better coach up your new guy here.
He's a marketing guy. He's not supposed to be tech. Okay. Trust me, I know.
We got a couple of clips now of him coming in and not being able. No, but so speaking of flag wars, what did you think about the flag wars between Bernie Sanders and
Full Time Geek?
Yeah, Full Time Geek. That was interesting.
I enjoyed both of them. I haven't
That's what's difficult, right?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, these guys throw downvotes and upvotes around like, it's my mortgage payment. Like, it's, I'm sitting there trying to get a little $20 upvote from DTube. These guys are just, doing it. It's, hey, whatever. They can do it. They have to.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's like, whatever, man. I don't take sides in any of that stuff because I don't know enough to comment. So
I'm with you. I'm with you in that boat.
That's my official statement.
No, we can't hear you, Paulius. All right, so while Paulius is still checking his microphone settings, what about the Netcoins victory? And this is open to anyone to chime in. How many times did you vote? What do you think about that? I saw on Twitter that the Verge people were,
oh, dude, they were
a little bitter.
Oh my God, have you seen some of the comments?
Oh, I've seen some of the comments. You take your shit coins and you go home.
It reminds me. I'm sorry to bring politics into this, but it reminds me of all the Hillary supporters in 2016.
It was totally like that. We better check those votes. You better check those votes. Okay.
Don't forget the hanging chads.
Oh man, who could? Well, some of these people might not remember that, but I sure do. I remember that guy. It kind of looked like you, Eric, with the glasses on, looking through the ballots.
Yep.
All seeing you.
Never know. Maybe it was me.
All seeing you's watching. Oh, see, there it is. That's the guy. She's watching, and she said that's why I ended up listen, All Seeing You. If you guys haven't seen that Bernie video, go to her site. I mean, it's all one word, all ALL, seeing SEEING EWEU, and check out that video that she made of Bernie Sanders, the actual presidential candidate of Bernie Sanders, the Steemian. It is hilarious. That's all I got.
Yeah, she did great on that. It's awesome.
Trying to think if I have any more questions for our guests.
No worries, man.
Does anyone else? And if not, we can just keep going down random roads. Sean, you can unmute yourself at any point.
I'm going to toss this graphic in here real quick.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I love graphics, especially when
This is Narashi. Narashi is our graphic facilitator extraordinaire.
Crazy awesome.
All right.
That's pretty good.
So no,
I guess.
no pictures, and I'm still working. I got some quotes coming in and some other good stuff.
Cool. Paulius, we can hear you.
Oh, hello, finally. It's MacBook problems all the time.
Welcome.
They make it easy for me.
What's going on, man? Thanks for jumping on the pile.
Yeah, no problem. I was just interested in hearing your guys' perspective on onboarding and just I guess Eric's question too in regards bringing people on to Steem and learning how to, I guess. Well, I had a few perspectives, or I guess I don't know. I had a few thoughts since I've been in UX for 3 years, and specifically I was a researcher. Now, the way I'm working with them right now, since I'm doing their social media, I looked at the existing audience. I obviously looked at the metrics on Facebook and all that stuff, what is going on in the current, but I separated it into like different layers of the people. So I guess like the original streamers that are already on here, then someone who might be interested. And then Eric's question was, should I bring in, I think, YouTube stars or anything like that? My initial thought about it is the whole process should be focused on the onboarding. Because like you said, you could have asked somebody like, hey, you can make money on Steem, and they're gonna sign up, they're gonna wait, they're gonna start posting, and then once they get bored, they're just gonna leave. And then we saw in the Hodge Twins. I've actually been watching Hodge Twins for about 10 years, which is kind of funny because I remember their enthusiastic posts in the beginning, and then later on, when Steem actually started going down, they haven't been posting as much, and then their enthusiasm went down. And their whole channel was actually built on, acting and being enthusiastic. I don't know if you guys watched their videos before, but one of the biggest issues, and I found that through my friends, is the onboarding. If I remember on DLive, somebody brought in this fitness dude that I was watching his videos on YouTube as well. I don't know if you guys seen it. He had like acne project thingy going on. He was vegan, and then he was on Dr. Oz's show as well.
Okay.
But I remember, I think Jimmy, I don't know his name, Jimmy maybe? Yeah, from DLive. He had a very comprehensive onboarding process posted in the DLive chat. I was looking through. He explained like everything clearly. And I think that's where you got to start off. Like, that's my initial thought. That's only one layer of it. I could just go on all day and explore onto this. But from my personal experience and from my friends, it's always the onboarding process. If you don't explain something from A to Z and leave the shit in the middle empty, it's more likely to get it die.
So that's a great point, and I think it also circles back to our guests, which is that SteemSavvy is providing, or at least is claiming the space to provide, that onboarding process for people that we all invite to the platform. Would you say that?
Me specifically? Yeah.
I would say that, or Eric.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
think it needs the big thing. Just I'm totally agreeing with you about the onboarding thing. I mean, that should be priority number one for any of the apps that are creating on here. Because think about the programmers that are busting their butt, the development teams that are putting their all into these things, and they can't even get people to use their stuff because it's so hard for the people to get on board. So that will again deflate the excitement. But at that same token, Steem has continued the development even with the price drops. I mean, the development has still been there. People are still excited creating stuff. Onboarding is huge. And that's just what SteemSavvy is trying to do, is help that. I mean, I obviously don't have the steam power or the delegation to go out there and, you know, say, hey, I'm going to do a $10,000 campaign online to get people to Steem, and hey, I'll pay for your account to join. But because with resource credits and all that stuff.
Have you guys ever thought about like the? Sorry to interrupt. Have you guys ever thought about like intentions of the people coming? Because my original intentions, like moving away from general social media like Instagram and stuff, and when I came in contact with Steem, I noticed that everyone interacts a little bit differently. There's no, obviously there is useless comments, but people try to provide value, you know, whether posting content or participating in the whole loop. And I think the general social media has put on this facade for people that it's like to like, and it becomes meaningless. And when you come on Steem, it's completely different. And that's why I came on this platform, because I just didn't know who I was on the general, like on Instagram. I didn't know how to create my own, I guess, brand, or I just didn't know how to be myself. But when I came to Steem, I was like, like lose all this shit and just provide value and just interact, you know, having a very warm interaction and, you know, meeting people. So I think there's that curtain that you have to kind of pull behind, and it can't, like I see, I've been using Smoke.io for my cannabis content, and their thing is like, get paid to smoke, you know, or something like that. And it's a very misleading, I would say, call to action, you know?
Well, okay. So let me chime in with my 2 cents.
Yeah.
You have an overlap. In other words, what John Olson was talking about, and I think he used the term marketing, you know, and I said, what is your roadmap? And really a lot of that in your reply was focused on drawing attention to what you do. And in the end, here's what's going to win. In the big picture, always the better widget, hopefully. But you can't pretend away marketing. You could have the best damn widget in the world, and if you can't get the eyeballs, if you can't get attention, you're not selling anything. Yeah. So and you're just you're using a different term for the same thing when you talk about, I'm profiling my customers and I'm wondering what it is. So and then the next thing, that's marketing. You know, this is marketing. Profiling my customers, potential customers, and then I'm looking at their intention. You're starting to focus on what it is that you want to use in terms of a marketing tactic based on what the appeal is for them. And sure, you're going to see these oversimplified narratives, you know, you can point to. And interestingly enough, John Olson, you pointed out the problem with simplicity. Simplicity in design is a real value.
Yeah.
You know, and if people are having a difficult time signing up, then you're missing an element that you would hopefully be able to simplify. It changed things a whole hell of a lot. So that's I guess that's what I'm saying is I guess you're wondering about how to focus. I'll create some customer profiles. Who's the type of person that's likely to come here? This is marketing 101. I'll try and figure out how to appeal to them and based on their intention in coming here. I don't know, man. After that, I got nothing, because I mean, figure out that formula, you know, but you got to know what it is that you're doing. And that's what you guys are doing. I mean, as far as what I can tell, given my experience and my background.
Well, you said simplicity, and I think that's because when things are simple, more people will take risks, they'll take chances, because it's easier to adopt, easier to use, and actually, you know, they won't feel like this is way over my head and I just won't even do it because it's too confusing. So simplicity is key.
Absolutely. And we've talked about that in here before, and it's the interesting thing, because this is the difference between marketing and having the better widget. Marketing a lot of times is a perceived simplicity. It doesn't even have to be real simplicity. You see what I'm saying? Like our system of currency now. A lot of people don't know jack about fractional reserve banking or the Fed, or you see what I'm talking about? Or what is it? Quantitative easing. They don't need to, because they pull dollar bills out of their wallet and they go to spend them and it works. That's the simplicity. You see what I'm talking about? So it's real or perceived simplicity. Perceived simplicity in terms of marketing is every bit as important. there's this one segment from that old cartoon called Drawn Together, which I thought was funny. And she holds up a piece of pie and a flashlight. And they call it the pie and the well-lit pie trick or something like that. Hey, gets the job done, right? Says nothing of the actual widget. It's marketing.
Hmm.
Oh my God, what's that?
Trying to figure out how to incorporate that into.
Yeah, I don't know where that goes. I don't know where.
I think you're bringing up a very valuable point, though. There is very little actual marketing done in crypto and blockchain, period. Everybody wants it to be convoluted in this mystical, magical thing, you know, that's going to solve all the problems in the world as long as you just say, you know, 2 words, blockchain, and all the problems disappear.
And that's where we are now, is because there's such a lack of understanding amongst the general populace that the word itself it's a buzzword, it's a catchphrase,
Well,
and that's what gets people's attention.
Yeah, and I think that was.
Go ahead.
And I think that was the first network effect, and we're still looking for that second network effect, and everybody's looking for that killer app, or DApp in this case. And what's going to create that? So, what's going to create the next network effect of this influx of people? And I mean, honestly, this is what everybody's running into right now. They don't know which app to create for whom. They, you know, we're, you know, most of the people in the space are niche type of person. Somebody who's I don't know, intellectually savvy, who loves technology, just all kinds of people, right? But a very, very small niche of people. That's who's in here now. And we got to get to that next step. So, you know, I've been, you know, I constantly have these thoughts, and one reason why I love what John and everybody's doing, because I love the educational aspect of it, is we have this funnel in crypto right now, where, you know, tons of people sure might want to try and get in, but the funnel here is so clogged up with people from the last network effect that they have not moved up in tiers of educating themselves in what's going on. And there's, like, that whole thing needs to move. We've got to unplug that hole and bring in the next flow of people. But again, I think, you know, everybody's searching for that. And everybody's, you know, trying their fucking best. And, you know, hats off to everybody here. And just having conversations around it helps.
Well, and also, I think that the techno people don't tend to be the business people,
right.
And I think also you have to look at the history of Bitcoin. Newsflash, I'm going to point out the obvious here: if it hadn't been rolled out by somebody anonymous, they would have become an enemy of the state because of the potential to the power structure, the real threat to the power structure. You know, that's why, you know, and then they got parity fairly quickly because the technology is that good. And I've talked a little bit about this in there. It's a comparable currency to what's out there in the fiat world. And the minute you put it online, even in its most primitive state, the very first iteration, bam, it's ready to roll. And it's a huge threat to the power structure. So that's why it was rolled out anonymously. It's because they would have gotten themselves killed if they didn't get it out there and they didn't open source it in a certain way. It was gaining traction almost immediately. So those were the technoids. And then where are the marketing people? Interestingly enough, like I said, a lot of times the techno nerds don't think in terms of business. They don't think in terms of marketing. From what I can tell, and I'm thinking about this as you guys are talking about this, who is really doing a good job selling cryptocurrency and blockchain overall? I can think of Andreas Antonopoulos, and that's
he's selling the idea, which is what it is. One person who's selling their shit is
Roger.
Yes, Roger Ver. Yes, he's doing a damn good job at marketing, man. Although not, you know, I have my biases towards
right.
cash, but he's doing what he needs to do, right?
So you can find a few people that are doing that, but then beyond that, you're kind of into the realm of nerddom. You know, if I mention Vitalik Buterin or whatever is it Buterin? Reminds me of Wellbutrin. But you know, if I mention that guy, no one, your typical person is not going to know who he is unless
Sean doesn't know who he is.
No idea.
There you go. Unless they're a nerd and a crypto nerd, they're going to have no clue who this person is. So in that niche, he has a name and he has a place and he has a presence. But again, you know, I can only think you mentioned Roger Ver. Sure. There's just not many. You could fit them on one hand who are out there doing a good job. And I'm not even saying they're intentionally selling Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain, but they're doing a good job in terms of marketing it. And that's primarily because they're passionate about it.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
You've got John McAfee who wants to run as a presidential candidate and put
Right.
blockchain and cryptos as
Right.
his platform, right? That is his way of saying, here, I've spread it to 100,000 other people, and
But
let's
isn't
take
that
it from there?
Isn't that interesting? Because of the way, and like I said, I suggested a bit of the history has to do with it and a bit of the types of people that got involved at various stages. But isn't that interesting? This thing that has such a potential to really change the face of the globe, really maybe a handful of people that are out there passionately advocating for it in such a way that you could almost go, oh, that person's selling the idea.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that, and then I'm going to go back to what Jiu-Jitsu asked about. How, who could, who's going to what do you do? What's your strategy? And think of this. You just said that, your family doesn't know who Roger Ver is or Andreas or stuff like that. But do the kids know who the famous rappers are? I mean, I forget, what's that clown's name that just started talking about Bitcoin? He did a song like 2 weeks ago, and that got everybody asking questions. And that's what it's going to take. It's not going to be the nerds. No offense to anybody that's out there. It's going to be the kids and the people that attract a different, wider Bitcoin. Oh, what's that?
And I was just I was just thinking that earlier when we're talking about onboarding is we have to realize like a good chunk of the population are children. They're kiddos. How can you onboard kids, right? It needs to be just as easy as it is for kids as it is for anybody else. And if kids can do it, anybody could do it. We're missing that for sure.
And that's kind of similar to
that's his name.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that you mentioned kids. I just had a conversation with my buddy about 2 weeks ago, and obviously we always look at it. We pay attention to everything, obviously. And one of the interesting things that his sister, she's 14. She always asks us how to make money online, and all her girlfriends too. They're trying to make money too. They're trying to get monetized. They're trying to sell products and everything. And we're just thinking about I'm 25, and you could call me the millennial or whatever, but the next generation, it's going to be even crazier. They're going to be, they're looking for that right now at 14. When I was 14, I didn't even think about making money, Obviously, I was thinking about the car or whatever I'm going to have in 2 years, but I've never thought about how can I make money online? How can I do this or
what
that?
What kind of business can I have? Yeah, that's wicked, man. Yep.
So I totally agree with that for the kids, man.
Yeah.
Well, you're the ideal market demographic for crypto, 25. The target market right now, from all the reports that I've read, is 23 to 34, with the highlight being 25 to 28 as the ideal target market for crypto. However, as you mentioned, kids is the next highest demographic to bring into it.
Right.
The 16 to 19-year-olds is the next highest target being identified right now to be brought into the crypto realm. Because the idea is that if you can get them to understand it, we don't even have to understand it, but to be able to use it, then they will spend the rest of their time basically becoming the ambassadors of it just by osmosis. You look at the gaming sites right now. Game Informer, for example, one of the headlines on the last issue of Game Informer was "Crypto comes to some game." I don't remember what it was. I never heard of it, but it was literally the headline.
It'll be Fortnite for sure, right?
Yeah, it's the headline on their magazine. Crypto comes to Fortnite, whatever. That new Call of Duty, whatever it is. So they're already targeting that next market down. Then you got us old farts out there who, honestly, when I was 14, I was working in a laser research facility. So I don't quite fit the market of the old geezer, so much. But
yeah, you do.
A lot of the old, yeah. If you guys could see video, you'd know that I'm definitely the old geezer of the crew here, without a doubt. Hair down to my ass and bald as hell, but but the old people are starting to pay attention too. So we're in this interesting mix right now, with market dynamics. You can literally go from the group of 25 to 28 and extrapolate that in either direction and find a viable market. It's there. And that's kind of the problem. It's everywhere in a way. That's almost a problem.
Well, is ESP, are you here still? Because what that kind of reminded me of is, and it looks like he's not, is he talked a little bit about Malcolm Gladwell, and it goes back to like, we have the most information out there, right? But we're too disconnected to be able to put it all together. So like there has to be something there where, I mean, even just look at who's on the call tonight. I mean, I would say this is a call that, at least for tonight, is a group that spans generations, and each of us have our own networks, personal and networks on here that we can invite and bring on. But yeah, it's confusing. But it's also wide open all at the same time. So you just have to get it right.
I'm always trying to think in human terms, and sadly, this brought me to the thing. If you're talking about appeal, types of appeal that might work for various customer profiles, and if you're talking about how the younger generation is the future, and I had mentioned whether it's real or perceived in terms of marketing, whatever gets the damn job done, which says nothing of the widget. I read an article not too long ago, and I was just looking for my notes on that, and smoking meth like I do sometimes, and that's why I go off cam. And so in this article, and it was in The Guardian, it's called Generation Wealth, How the Modern World Fell in Love with Money. I think this might have a little something to do with the appeal of Trump. Anyway, you get towards the end of the article, and I don't have the article in front of me, but I pulled a quote from it because I think it's quite telling. It says, "We have a culture that prizes celebrity, bling, and narcissism." Interestingly enough, now we're into the mental issues and the psychology of younger generations and things like feeling very alone and rates of suicide. But without getting into all that, there it is. We have a culture that prizes celebrity, bling, and narcissism. Maybe you need to appeal when we're talking about, okay, young kids these days are trying to figure out how to start a business younger. I mean, this is what capitalism has brought us to. They realize the importance of money. They're not quite sure because they're not older like me or, Mr. Taylor there. But they don't realize that at the end of the day, without your health, you have nothing. But interestingly enough, these days, health, as you grow older, is equated with money. So, and these are the things I've started to realize that cause splits, or they cause people to draw together. They say the two things that you never talk about at a party are religion and politics, because they tend to be divisive. But also, they're the things that people find important and that people tend to be very passionate about. And the other thing is romance and finance. They're things that split people apart, but they're also the things that people realize on some level. Everybody realizes the importance in 2018 all over the friggin' globe of money. They don't know how to get money. They don't know why they want money. They're not sure whether money should have a sort of inherent value in their minds or whether it's something else like they've heard all along. The goal isn't money. It won't buy you happiness, but it will sure, help you. So anyway, and I think that's a lot of the reason we've talked about this in here. A lot of the reason that people gravitate towards this buzzword of blockchain and the the market with all the volatility of Bitcoin is because they've heard you can get rich. It's not because they're interested in the agenda, of changing the planet, or it's not because they have some understanding of the technology. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Good points.
No problem. Any darn time. You got it. Thank you.
Well, it's interesting that some of the lower income groups globally are the ones that are the most active in crypto.
Because they don't have access to banks.
They're desperate.
Well,
they need the money more
Well,
than
they still have to have access to a bank because you got to get fiat into the system somehow.
Some third
And they're
world
the
countries don't
most
want to
depressed of the system.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well,
if you look at the 5 leading currencies in the world right now is JPY is number 1, USD is combined as number 2, and the euro is number 3. Well, the KRW is only because they have a very large in South Korea has a very large population that are on the internet that's basically broke. A big investment to them is $10 USD. That's a big investment for them. So you have millions of people in South Korea that are investing $10, and their concern is not. They don't give it 2 flying monkeys about what crypto does next week. They want to buy a Lambo tomorrow. They're like there's somebody. When somebody mentioned it, it's all about the money, and it's absolutely true. It's all about the instant riches. It's all about how can I go from poverty to wealth without putting in the effort along the way. I want an instant transition, and crypto is presenting itself as that opportunity. It's like a .com boom of the 1990s.
No, it's here to stay, and the reason it's here to stay is that thing that I mentioned the last time we had a steaming pile. Is there's this Slovenian philosopher / economist named Zizek, who at the end of one of these things that I watched, that was about an hour long, and it was a BBC special about genius type thinkers, and he was commenting on Marx, I believe, or it was the episode dedicated to Marxism. And at the end of the episode, he says, the question is how can we get money to serve us? We here it is, 2018, all kinds of evolution of economics and commerce. And now what we're doing is chasing the dollar rather than we're not at a system where money is serving most people. It's here to stay. This is not a boom. This is not a bubble. This is the deal going forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
All Seeing You has just jumped on the pile.
I did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we can.
Oh. All right. Winner.
Winner.
Nice you.
Yes.
You are nice.
Wow.
I'm sweet as I care to be.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
You went and got camera ready.
I did. I put on a little war paint. I brushed my hair. It's only 10 o'clock at night, so I figured, well,
Sure. Why not?
Thanks for
why
coming
not?
on. So you were watching before you came in. Do you have any reflections, reactions, or things you want to get off your chest tonight?
Ideas and stuff.
Oh, yes. The onboarding thing, I spent the first 3 months of my so far year on Steem, like enthusiastically trying to drag people over from, YouTube with me. And everyone was like, I don't know, that sounds like it's a place that's full of anarchists and Satanists. And I was like, it is, you should come, it's great. And, I bought so many people their accounts and taught them how to use it and set them up with cover photos and was like that. And people would get really enthusiastic about it. And then you'd never see them again. They'd make one post and get $1 or something. And they'd be like, oh, this isn't worth the time. And it's like, well, with that kind of attitude, you're right. It's definitely not. So...
But what's the difference? What do they get from, YouTube versus here? They actually get paid for something and they could have better interactions, actually more, I guess, how would I say this? They're more meaningful than, just getting likes on YouTube.
I couldn't agree with that more. That's why I one of my posts on Steem was like, This is a video that I uploaded to YouTube that got 23,000 likes, and why it doesn't mean as much to me as it does for this post that got 65 cents and 5 actual comments from people.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people use their YouTube just to keep money going into their Patreon and PayPal, and they can't quite get they can't get their heads around the idea that if you spend less time begging for money and just more time doing good content and making friends, that you don't have to fucking ask.
Well, all this stuff runs together. I mean, you know, because we're conflating how to onboard people, the difficulty in onboarding people. That's probably why you went ahead and created their profiles for them and give, because it's kind of difficult. You got to be kind of nerdy to get on a blockchain platform at this stage. So we're conflating that with the problems within the system, and I pointed to the governance or just the guidelines, the way that Steem it works. With the appeal of blockchain technology. You know, they're caught up in this historical approach to commerce and economics on YouTube, which has gained quite a few people, you know, huge followings and brought them some income. They became YouTube stars, you know, and everybody wants, you know, we all have this, we're subject to this tendency. I want to get rich too. There, I said it. But, you know, so the appeal for the type of person that sees the blockchain for the potential that it has is not the appeal for the type of person who's still embedded in historical approaches to commerce. Yeah. It's just not right. And if you get in there, and so again, to separate these things out, and if you get in there and the system on Steem it is such that it's not even as democratic as YouTube was. I see Steem it as more of a casino at this stage. Sadly, there I said it. It has more of a casino element than YouTube ever did.
For sure.
Call it the underlying algorithms. Call it the sort of development of the respective platforms at different times. Call it the difficulty of creating a system of commerce that's meshed with your website. But it's, you know, so.
Forgive me. I'm
right.
I'm going to mute myself for a second while I do some self-promotion for the post that I just made, leading people to John Spalding's Vim stream, because I'm not streaming.
He's here.
Oh, you're awesome.
Right on. Right
and so I've got to go hit up Twitter, because what else? What good is it for if you can't, you know, promote your Steem activity? Yeah.
Marketing your ass on the fly.
That's right.
That sounded wrong.
Barking.
The only shameless self-promotion I did off mic tonight was talking to Sharon from Vim TV and asking if we can get a steaming pile emoticon to put in the chat on the Vim TV dashboard. And since Paulius is here, you might want to, you know, see what you can do, work your magic to, you know, if Eric Wilson can have one, maybe we can too. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. Eric Wilson has one on Vim?
Yeah, he has one on Vim.
Oh
he has one on Vim. Does the fucking steaming pile have one?
You don't
No.
have to say anything else.
I made Eric and me our emojis and just sent them to Shiren.
Nice.
That's how you get that done. You just have to make.
You just do it.
Just make it. Send it to him. Be like,
I got you.
that's how you get that done.
Narashi, send it to Paulius, and he'll send it to Sharon.
It's already done.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Gone rogue?
That's what that is.
That's funny.
Except I lost track.
Oh.
What the hell I was going to say.
That's awesome. That's great. I love it.
Jiu-Jitsu, I'm glad you added that extra J, because at first I was reading it, I'm like, Steem it BJ? I don't want to know what an emoticon for that would look like.
I mean, it might not be that different than a Jiu-Jitsu emoticon, let's be honest.
Whoa.
JK. It's okay. I do jujitsu. I can joke like that.
So you, before tonight, have you, I guess you can say this when you come back, I wondered if you were familiar with SteemSavvy and had heard of that project at all. And then if
Who, me
not...
personally? Only from following John, so no.
When I said you, I meant All Seeing You, not you.
Oh, of course you.
Sean.
Well, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Never mind. I didn't
Well,
say
listen,
anything.
I see
Could you repeat the question, please?
Homonyms. It's easy to confuse you and you.
And it's easy, especially for me, because I think everything is about me. So anytime I hear someone say the word "you," I'm like, yes.
Well, fair enough. Go ahead.
What was the question? I was.
Who are you asking?
I don't know. I just heard All Seeing You. I came back. I was on Twitter.
Wait, you listen, Twitter is a typing platform. You cannot
No.
Easy.
You have to mute yourself. What?
Yeah, I have
Wait,
to mute
I heard
myself.
easy come out of I'm looking around who's telling me that?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with SteemSavvy? Sean or the All Seeing You?
I only just heard about it this evening, and I think it's wonderful. I think that's great. I just started doing a little bit of work with Steem Community and Helpy and Paula G. I started transcribing some videos in her it's like a course that teaches you about
business
Steem in general. And it's along the same lines as what I heard being discussed in what you're talking about. And I think the more of these things that are out there, the more content that's available that's going to help newcomers, the better. Because I've been doing this a year, and I'm always surprised every day at something that I didn't have any idea how it worked. I just figured out some really rudimentary thing the other day and went, oh, wow,
Who is that again that has their course on Steem It?
The great and wonderful Paula G. Her name is on YouTube and Twitter. You can find her as a block of crypto. On Steem, you can find her as at Paula G. But she works with the Steem community, which is like a support thing that helps you go from Flotsam and Jetsam to Minnow, and then from Minnow to Dolphin. And then there's Helpy, which I'm sort of getting acclimated with now.
Did Bernie Sanders tell you to go to Helpy?
No, Bernie Sanders didn't tell me anything. He muted me, which is probably the best I could hope for, considering that I trolled the shit out of him and lived to tell the tale.
Yeah. Good for you.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. I'm still happy about that.
That's all right. I think you came out of it pretty good.
I was kind of hoping that Bernie and I were gonna hook up, and that he was gonna be just handing me unlimited funds to go around helping people. Right. I thought that we had that kind of thing, the beginnings of that sort of thing, but as it turns out, no.
He found out your ulterior motives.
Right, trying to help people. He was like, fuck that bitch, I'm muting her.
So we've identified a competitor to SteemSavvy. Would you say that? We're going to have to go and hunt them down, John, and flag them.
How long has SteemSavvy been around?
6 days. Why?
6 days. 6 whole days.
I don't think that you should do Steem Community or Helpy as competitor. I think marriage.
That's not what this blockchain's about. This blockchain is about downvoting people that you don't like and creating wars with people that have similar views to you.
Right.
Right.
It's YouTube. It's YouTube, but with crypto.
Ooh, I don't know.
That it is.
It's nice.
I like the awkward silence.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it made me not say anything.
It's a good time to bring in my graphic.
Oh, here we go, everyone.
Oh boy.
Graphic facilitation provided by Narashi.
Where is it?
It's coming. There we go.
Ta-da!
That is what I have for the evening so far.
Yeah. Look at all that info.
That's
Beautiful.
a lot of info.
It is. Do you want to go over some highlights?
What was that?
Do you want to go over any highlights?
Yeah. What do you guys want to go over? I just basically, as usual, try to take notes, and pretty much copy verbatim what people are talking about in an organized way.
Did you get anything of our last half hour where we kind of veered?
Mic check.
Not on here, but let me check my paper notes.
That's okay. I just wanted.
The last thing I have is ideal market demographic, which I think I wrote down there. So yeah, no, I did not.
Is that a nice way of telling us that we just wasted 30 minutes, or are we?
Or that I wasted 30 minutes. Oh.
I'm trying to read all of this, but I have this thing that happens when something is presented to me and I'm part of a stream. I go blind, and so I can't operate any buttons or read anything.
Narashi takes.
I get blank.
She takes our VODs
Gotcha.
and her picks and makes posts afterwards.
Yes, I've seen them, and I love them. It's just that right now I'm a stupid person, so it's not that I can't see the graphic. It's just that I can't concentrate.
I have a question.
So we went over.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't have a question for
you.
you. I don't have a question for this graphic. And you were going to talk about it.
Yeah, just that we went over SteemSavvy and Bitcoin Bully, which John G. Olson is the creator of those. So you've got a team, right? There's a couple of people involved.
Yeah, we're all kind of
right. It was I'm forgetting names, but yeah, basically, so kind of the ins and outs of that and the differences between them. Oops. And then there was Q&As. What's the difference between them? Savvy's geared towards new Steemians, where Bully's more for crypto newcomers. And then gaining traction, niche specific towards gamers. And then I've just got some food for thought notes of the random discussions, and then some quotes from you guys as well in there.
I like the what is SteemSavvy bullet points too. That's really cool. Glad you captured those. My question would be for John. What? All seeing you, did you just write bloop?
Yeah, that's what I do. I always
That's awesome. I think it's great.
Is this the first time you're seeing the bloop? I
it's
bloop
probably
every
the first time I'm remembering bloop. But my question for John is: Would SteemSavvy, would going through those modules be good live streaming content? If someone who was good at live streaming but new to Steem were to do that, and
you talking about like someone through a live stream of it?
Or like someone just live streaming them like watching your videos and doing what you were asking of them at the end of the module.
I mean, it'd be great. It's just, do you want to watch someone listening to me? Because I'm pretty boring, man.
I don't know.
It's dude. I mean, this is the thing: is it almost falls into the apps on the blockchain. Like, you can use them for this. I mean, it'd be perfect. It'd be a perfect marriage of seeing people actually doing this stuff and taking action and saying, hey, I can use this app to do this, and this is how you do it. So I'm down for whatever, man. Literally.
Like it. Who is? Just seeing who kind of just came on.
Like, I keep on thinking about, like, if, like, in the future there could be some sort of, like, refresher course. Like, for me, I jumped in. I know my way around. But then earlier you said, like, wallet address. And I'm like, wallet address. What does he mean by the address part? Because it's like, I'm a creator, so the technical things I'm still shady about, even though I'm like, people would see me and maybe think I know a lot more than I do about the technical side. So I always wonder about that. Someone like me isn't going to necessarily want to go in and have their, it's kind of like a tutorial of a video game. Like, oh, I've played this game before. I'm going to jump in because it says there's new things to learn. And then I come out like, oh my God, dude, it was just the same old shit. I mean, why they really didn't think I knew that. But with this, it's not like that. There's always little things. So I wonder if I'm sure you get it.
Yeah, it's something I mentioned too. I tell people from the get-go, I'm like, you're going to go through these lessons, and you're probably going to want to review them in a couple of weeks from now. Actually, one of the second lesson in it says, hey, bookmark this and make sure. And that's the best thing about it, is that it's not gone. You can always revisit the content that you and the lesson you go through. So I make that clear, like, hey, you got to come back in a couple of weeks so that you do remember what your because what's your wallet address on Steam? People don't use it, right? So I mean, it's people might not know that going in, and they might go all in, and then 2 weeks later go, what the hell's my wallet address? Oh, he told me to watch that video. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Does my microphone work?
No,
it is
Broken. What, really? It failed.
muted.
Ignored. Unfollow me.
You got it.
right now.
Yeah, everybody at the same time.
Right?
Watches Gina Bot go.
Pariah once again.
I'll sing. I got a question for you. Remember when you talked about
Who?
onboarding people?
I'll sing you.
You can't get that wrong.
Sorry, I didn't read it. I look at it. I just glance over. I mean,
I get it wrong all the time.
I'll answer to anything.
Why did the people leave, or did you ask them why did they stop posting content? Like the people that you invited?
Oh, no, because they were weenies.
Wow.
You see, I have a huge, I don't know if it's fear or I guess like an internal problem, just thinking about the philosophy of content on Steemit versus Instagram or Facebook. I'm scared that people I remember you talked about it, CBH artist or whatever, that guy just posts like basic ass articles and he gets paid $300, or whatever. I think on the last pile, but I'm very scared of, I think it's embedded in our philosophy, how we're raised just on Instagram, just likes. And it's that instant gratification instead of focusing on the quality of the content. And I'm very scared for the people that come on here and they expect something like that. And then when they learn the system, they're going to try to hack the system. Instead of providing quality content, they're going to be like, so what post is going to get paid? There's that that higher level of all right, there's intention. Obviously, everybody wants to get rewarded more, right? But it's like a different intent versus let's see what I could MacGyver myself into and how I'm going to create this post, it's not even authentic anymore. It loses authenticity of the person. And that's what I'm scared from people that don't know, and they're going to come on Steem and going to try to, I guess, run that same bullshit.
I know what to tell those people.
Yeah, the clickbait motherfuckers.
Hey, TJ. I know what to tell them. You tell them, hey, don't make any content. Just go look at who I'm reposting and look at my comments and follow me around for a minute and see how I'm interacting in the comments.
Yeah, the interaction part, yes.
Right. And just come with me. It's like bringing a new friend to the party. You let them kind of hang out with you until they start a conversation of their own. And then before you know it, they'll see something that they want to react to and ta-da! Well, what do you know? They've got their first post. So
Richard's on his way out. I don't mean to cut you off, but Richard, I know you got to go. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you being here. Hope you jump on again. You can come on anytime.
Yeah, you guys are gonna
Nice.
kill me too, but I got a 15-month-old upstairs that's making.
No, it's all right. We appreciate you guys making time in the beginning to talk about SteemSavvy and staying on. So,
For
no
sure.
problem,
No,
John.
I appreciate it, man.
Eric
And,
as well. You guys are welcome anytime.
Thank
Thank
guys
you.
for having me.
I'm also going to take off. It's 9:30 here where I'm at, and I haven't had dinner yet.
Oh no.
Oh.
So
No.
I'm going to have some dinner. So
Well, ESP usually brings his own fritters on, so next time, Eric, make sure that you know that you can do that.
well, yeah.
He
One
just
time,
turns
like
his
a
he just
couple
turns
weeks
his
ago
cam.
where I brought oatmeal on.
Yeah, he just turns his
I only
camera
do
up.
that when John and Richard and I are on a conference call about 1 o'clock in the morning. If Richard and I are comparing what we're eating. So
How could those guys make you be on a conference call that late at night?
oh,
Come
that's
on,
early
John.
for us.
We're big meanies. That's how we just,
We're in
1
front of
o'clock's
good
early.
with friends and food here.
That's right.
1
It's
o'clock.
more, 1 o'clock's early. It's usually about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 a.m. is like lunchtime to me.
Oh, exactly. 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just getting fired up.
Prime time.
Yeah, it's prime
That's why
time.
everybody's sleeping in this house. I can actually do work, man, instead of like having kids screaming and.
I'm with you, dude. That's why I don't start till 9:30. I'm so glad that everyone else is okay with that. But I got some West Coasters in here, so they're all right.
I appreciate
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks,
No
Steam.
doubt.
Thanks,
Good
Steam
night,
John.
Savvy.
Thank you,
Have a great one.
Till next
I've
time.
appreciated the discussion tonight. It's been interesting. I've got some viewpoints to consider, and that's always a good thing to leave with, I think.
Yeah. Feel free to come back and just visit and hang out. There's a lot of ideas. A lot of crazy ideas.
I intend on it. Actually, I will be watching this a little closer from now on.
Good.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys and ladies. Have a great evening.
Later.
Have a great one, everybody.
Me and Narashi are the ladies. Just
Ladies? That always sounds creepy.
So how's that OBS setup working for you? All seeing you.
no, I don't know. I haven't tried to stream since.
What happened?
I just haven't. It's kind of personal. Do you mind? No,
Oh,
I just
no.
haven't had anything I wanted to do. I've been having a fucking hell of a week. I'm just between. Okay, it kind of started with like. Last week bled over into this week. So we had the flag war going on, and Bernie Sanders took me prisoner of war, and then I fought with him for a couple of days, and that turned out to be, sort
Like
of
the
fun.
Balrog.
Yeah. And then my son got sick, and then because he was sick, he lost his job, and then because he lost his job, I started taking on way more work than there are hours in the day, and so I've been sleeping for like 2 hours and working for 18, and sleeping for 2 hours and working for 18, and like just trying to amass as much money from all different places as I possibly can to just keep living indoors. And I'm almost ready to send Bernie an invoice, you know what I mean?
That sucks.
So
Sorry to hear that.
God, man, it's been hectic. It really has. And I know I'm not alone. I've been hearing from other people saying, like, my fucking dog died. My bank account is, like, taken.
Yeah, just the other day, this girl that I was interested in, like, got back with her ex, and now they're apparently getting married. So it's been, yeah, that's a legitimate story. There was this girl at a coffee shop I talked to, and I was about to go on a date with her. Then she called me up and said, I got back with my ex, and we got engaged.
That's her loss. Is that a Bon Jovi t-shirt? I bet he doesn't have a Bon Jovi t-shirt. So yeah, that's her loss. Whatever.
I also have a Def Leppard one.
It's nice.
Shut through the heart.
It's important to be well dressed.
Yeah.
No,
So quickly, I'm checking out. You guys can continue.
I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way.
Was it something I said?
No. Do you have the text chat open in Polly's?
Yeah.
See Gun Rogue.
And
Night,
the reason is I don't even remember what your
Here she
last
goes.
question was, but that tells you about the very colorful and important debate surrounding the Steemit website and the difficulties of meshing a system of commerce with a website, which makes it that thing, if you do it properly, makes it far more important and more valuable than YouTube if you do it properly. But no one said it was going to be easy. You know, we're in uncharted territory here. And that is the single most important post that I've ever read on Steemit. Because as All Seeing You suggested, in the early stages, I paid particular attention to who I liked and who they were following, and I read the comments, because those are the things that help me to understand why people are here and what's going up on the site and how the system works. You know what I mean? They help me in any number of ways. And I still do that. I'm still not that involved as far as dropping content and trying to have a voice, because that's how complicated this deal is. And that's the best darn post you'll read. And so go check that one out and read all the comments. And
Can you send Narashi the link so she can add it?
I put it in the text chat there. She's seen it. Actually, the reason I got to it is because last time we had a steaming pile meetup, last Tuesday, Gone Rogue pointed out this particular post to me. And that's where these people here have been extremely important. For some reason, when someone tells me about something, you know, and when we're on the camera in real life, and then they flesh it out a bit, you know, and I can hear the passion, I'm more likely to follow the link than if someone drops a link in a text box and says, oh, go look at this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I just had somebody in my Discord send me a private message, and in response to the message, I sent this show. Like, I can't talk to you because because of that.
There you go.
And as she writes back, she's like, oh, that looks interesting. So anyway, and I was like, I can't talk to you right now because I'm on a live stream. That one, you know, like, scroll up, asshole. I'm kidding, because she knows I love her. Right. Oh my God, people. Click on stuff. But you're right. When I hear someone talking about their project or something that they looked at, if they are telling me about it, you know, like this. Yeah, I'll go look at it right now. But if I get, do you have any links I get every day?
Right. Exactly.
God.
A lot?
Bye, Marashi. Bye, Rogue.
Dude, they've been gone for like 10 minutes.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm having a conversation. Maybe if you'd shut up and I could concentrate on the text chat.
You'd think that I could contain myself a little bit more so that you could know who's coming in and going.
Well, you're still a great master of ceremonies. You do an excellent job.
Well, I was going to say, well, where do we go from here? Like, that's the only thing.
We could always default to the usual.
What's that?
What is that? Something strikes?
Our preemptive strikes? I didn't do any. I had some backup preemptive strikes, but it was really my business partner's last post and one of my favorite writers outside of Steem who posted on Steem. She actually blogged. She has her name is Letters Girl on here. Her name's Amy McCorkle. She's a writer and videographer, director in Kentucky, and she comes on here. She has a film that she's
Practicing Katie. She needs KFC.
She needs what?
No KFC.
KYC.
No. He's got this thing about KFC for some reason.
I know. We all know who Patrick's wife stalker is on Steem. He's a regular on the steaming pile.
I don't want to know. This is scaring me.
It's not good.
Whose friend is Harpat? Anyone? Anyone here know?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think stalker is the right way to say it. I think tormentor with KFC commercials and.
It is adorable.
Okay.
Everybody loves it. You should keep it up. Totally.
See what happens when I try to find a segue. It just goes off the rails. Sean, would you like to try?
Well,
Anyone?
I lost my segue in the kerfuffle. I don't know what's going on right now.
Tell me about your
know.
snaps, Sean. Tell me about your snaps. I went and looked at some of them.
Oh shit! There we go. Perfect.
I actually look at people's content on here.
Thank you, man. Well, I finally got DTube to start working in some manner. As soon as they pulled down the live stream, actually, the same day, I started doing these DTube snaps because I just love the short content style. It's supposed to be like a minute long, and it can be random, as many as you want. I was just doing like once a day at first, and I got a really good response from them.
YouTube has like a Snapchat thing now.
No. Well, it's just like the hashtag is.
It's a format or style. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a minute long. People are just jumping on, and it only takes getting the attention of at least just the one right person. And there's one person in there that's thrown out good upvotes and started supporting my snaps, and now I'm on to like 7. One of them is like a little bit of a rant stand-up bit thing. So there's all sorts of things I'm kind of thrown in there and doing that, having fun with. But a lot of the early ones were just talking about projects and stuff like that I'm getting started. So it's fun. I'm looking to do a lot more there.
I liked them. They're short and sweet. I like them. They're pretty darn cool. Sorry that your 15-year-old was able to order, what was it, a vape pen on eBay?
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Without even registering.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen people in my high school like just take a bunch of fucking bullshit. This was a couple years ago before I graduated. So like there was like a whole underground market of stupid bullshit.
Always will be.
Always will be, yeah. Till it's legalized, I guess.
Yeah, Jujitsu, I don't think we can do 1-minute Vim streams because it doesn't even post to Steem until after 5 minutes.
And that's why I wanted to start getting YouTube to work, man. Gotta have some place to post it.
Did anyone use Sean, did you use that other one that Steem to or self to
Yeah,
Steem?
I was about to ask if any of you heard about the share to Steem thing.
Share to Steem.
I have used it, yes.
And?
It works good. I like it. It takes a little bit of getting used to with the formatting and how it works out. So my first were kind of just throwaway posts. But I could see a lot of ways to use it. Hey, speaking of, I just saw Patrick Ulrich pop in.
Speaking of KFC and tormenting Katie.
Oh, he's going to come in here and chew your ass out, TJH.
Yeah, we love some Patrick
Ulrich. Oh boy, this is going to be fun.
Oh,
what is the share to Steem? I've forgotten. What is the share to Steem briefly?
It's just a new. I guess I don't know if it's new or not, but it's a. Well, actually, Patrick. Go ahead,
you sign up for it, and you have to put like the hashtag share to Steem in your post on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube, somewhere in like the description or of the video if you're using YouTube, or the picture if you're using Instagram, or if you're on Twitter. Hashtag share to Steem, and it will apparently put it on the Steem as a post. So when you're using those platforms, you can earn Steem for it.
All right. Well, cool. Someone throw a link in the chat box there so I can get more info if it's not too much of a hassle. If not, I'll go find it. I kind of get the gist of it, though. It sounds interesting. Got my interest.
I'm certain Patrick has a link for it.
Like I said.
Well, the best thing about it is they take a smaller percentage than Steep Shot is. That's what I'm using now to post my stuff. And now I can go back to Instagram, where I already have a bigger following already. So now I'm posting Instagram. I'm keeping that following, which really I just literally stopped cold. I just stopped doing it once I got here. And still be able to post to Steem. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
You can share your Insta to Steem more easily. Did he freeze?
Ooh.
I think Sean froze.
He does every now and again.
Yeah, he was kind of getting a little robot-y a little earlier. like before I came on.
When
Ta-da!
Hi, Sean.
It's Jujitsu share the number 2 in Steam.
Ah, okay. That would have thrown me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have the link on me right now.
Okay. Well, no, that's close enough. That gives me enough to work with. Thank you.
If you follow Patrick or my post on it, there's referral links too. I don't know what we get, but I don't know.
Patrick, are you lurking tonight or are you talking?
$1 million.
He's walking around on his phone.
I saw that.
Post Elton John concert, I believe.
Oh.
Did he really go to see Elton John?
I wasn't. Yeah, he said that earlier. I wasn't going to say anything.
Wow.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I mean, I guess I'm just putting his business out there.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Elton John. Stop it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was jealous.
Is that Elton's bathrobe?
Stop it, dude. That guy's wearing a Bon Jovi t-shirt. Get off my bathrobe.
That's true.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah, Elton John is a.
I know at least I have a favorite music. I also have an anti-flag patch on my jacket.
I love them on Abby McBeal.
What is this? What's this? I missed that patch. He froze. Oh, well.
Something about Ally McBeal, I think he said.
Patch and flag. They're a punk band that sings anti-establishment music.
I saw them in concert in the 90s. They were pretty darn good.
I saw them at Upstate Concert Hall last year.
All right, where are we at?
In New York.
In Cleveland? Oh, you didn't want us to
Spalding?
check in with our cities?
Seattle.
There we go.
I'm in Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, no.
You
No,
was
I'm in
in
North
Central
Carolina.
Time. You was in Central
That
Time.
party
somewhere.
I'm in
land.
Central. Yeah, I'm in Central.
Where's Paulius from? Is Paulius from upstate New York? Where are you from?
North Carolina represent.
Good old Windy City.
Chicago.
Okay. Jiu-Jitsu is south of the border.
Taco Bell.
Well, let me do. Just because you're not prepared, John Spalding, doesn't mean you have to not mention it or keep it low key. Let me do my preemptive strike. Is that okay?
Yes, that's absolutely okay.
Someday I'll bring actual content to the Steem website. Someday, maybe, perhaps. So, how to share my screen. One moment. This always. Okay, we got this. Wow, I'm getting better at this. Over here.
On the bottom of the.
There it is.
Yay.
Yay. I accept that. Did I share the right screen? Okay, so what is this? I'm just gonna like click on a page and talk about it. Oh, well, interestingly enough. So there's this thing that I've mentioned on this channel before. Typically, let me tell you guys, since you're new, or some of you are new here, typically when they talk about preemptive strikes, I guess it works like this. Here's the spiel. Talk about what interests you on Steem in particular. And I'm terrible at that. I just talk about what interests me. And then I apply it to Steem and or the blockchain. So I think the future where we're trying to get, or hopefully where we'll be someday, the Star Trek future that I envision has a lot to do with what's talked about in this particular video, RSA Animate. It's Jeremy Rifkin's idea of the empathic civilization.
Post-scarcity, you mean?
What's that?
You say Star Trek, so like post-scarcity?
Yeah, exactly. Post-scarcity. Yeah. And something that works more harmoniously and where we're not all killing each other. So anyway, that's kind of where I'd like to see us be at some point, or at least I think that's where we need to be headed. And I think that interestingly enough, the networked technology that we have, computers, digitization, and networks, and as well as possibilities with Bitcoin, not just in terms of currency, but in terms of governance, are really, they finally, this sorts of technology gives us the ability to get to this stage. I don't know if biologically, if we're hardwired and that's our tendency. More and more I'm learning that maybe we're hardwired to be violent and conflicted. But that doesn't have a whole lot of promise going forward. So anyway, that's a thing that you could check out. It's called The Empathic Civilization. It takes the ideas of Jeremy Rifkin and animates them, and I think it's wonderful and groovy and all that stuff. And this is another thing that has caught my interest lately, and I think I've mentioned this on here as well. This is from theedge.org, a response to a yearly question that they pose. And in 2011, they posed this question: what scientific concept would improve everybody's cognitive toolkit? To which the reply was from Hazel Rose Marcus and Alana Connor, the culture cycle. And you scroll on down here a bit, and it talks about the interaction between foundational ideas, institutions, everyday practices and artifacts, and the individuals. The culture cycle is the way to address things, perhaps, in order to get to this empathic civilization where we need to be if you want to have that Star Trek future, and if we don't all want to kill ourselves. And what else was I looking at? Bear with me a moment. And then I pointed out that other thing. God, this drop down always kills me. Bear with me one moment. Here's a great article I read recently. Go read it, and you'll see how it ties into these other ideas. It's on Psychology Today. It's a guy named Jeremy Sherman, who has a cool book called Neither Ghost Nor Machine, where he elaborates on the work of a guy named Terrence Deacon. But anyway, this is a great article. You go read it, and you'll see how it ties into the things that I'm talking about. Because I always mention when I'm on here, Yuval Noah Harari. And he talks about how are we going to do this going forward? Are we going to pursue in a nationalistic sort of way, which has a whole hell of a lot more history than trying to pursue things in a global fashion, which is without precedent. And but what he terms the nationalistic approach as this might not be accurate, but retrograde and non-progressive and not likely to work out. And whereas the globalistic thing has a whole lot of promise and potential, though we're not quite sure how to go about it. It's going to be extremely difficult. If you read this article, you'll tie it to ideas like that. And so the other thing that has taken my notice lately is this. This is interesting. And the reason this is interesting is because that thing that I posted for you, Impolius, which relates to the system on Steemit at present, it could be changed by tweaking and changing the governance of Steemit. It would affect the economics a great deal, which has to pose a threat to the people who are economically tied in to the system as it is. But the reason I think that this is interesting is coincidentally, there's a point in this video where, hold on one moment, he talks about the value of downvoting. And I came in here with this idealistic idea when I came into the steaming pile, and I started talking about my ideas in relation to the Steemit website and the Steem-based blockchain platform. I came in here with this idealistic notion that, you know what, you don't even need a downvote. What you need is just more effective system of upvoting so that we can see good content, or better still, great content bubble to the top. And you're going to need less of a plutocracy and a more efficient system for upvoting, and we don't even have to worry about the downvote. As it turns out, when I looked at this video, and the cool thing about this video is they talk about what is it they call it? It's called moral philosophy. Is it called moral philosophy? I think it's called moral philosophy, which is usually you don't think in terms of, you think in terms of philosophy as being this broad realm, and there are certain types of philosophies, but I never thought that we'd get to a stage where moral philosophy played a role. Anyway, I'm going to confuse the shit out of it. Go watch this video, because he talks about whether you're a liberal or whether you're a conservative. Oh, look, there's one. He talks about harm and care being a metric, and something that perhaps we're born with or hardwired towards, a tendency to come to philosophical sort of approach or conclusion in the early stages as concerns this thing called harm and care. And then he gets to the third one is in-group and loyalty. And he just takes you through a number of metrics that we seem to be predisposed to, perhaps biologically hardwired to. And it's from these metrics and our approaches to these metrics and our conclusions about how to approach these metrics that we arrive at a liberal leaning or a conservative leaning sort of a way to conduct our affairs and interact with the rest of the world. Great thing. And also there's a thing in there, like I'm going to say it one more time. He talks about downvoting and the value of downvoting. Interestingly enough, in a meritocracy, I'm starting to think more and more there is some value to downvoting. In other words, pointing out where, hey, this shit's wrong and we don't want it.
Right.
Right. So that's my rant. Thanks for listening. Check out those links if you're interested, and hopefully they'll be of some value to you. And that's all I got.
Probably check them out and give my answer to the question of if it's psychological or programmed into us, because technically it is programmed into us, because when you're a kid going into school, that's pretty much the indoctrination center. It really depends on what state you're in, because certain areas have the stronghold of the liberal propaganda bullshit, and the other states have the stronghold of the conservative nonsense. And when you're really in those public schools, like they will very much force their point of view on you. So we're really hardwired to fight against each other, and the real alternative to it is to start sending our children to stuff like Sudbury schools, or stuff where the people have complete autonomy and can cooperate with each other and not compete with each other, because then that gives issues.
Well, an authoritarian approach at times has some real advantages for the group. And at other times, a more libertarian approach has its advantages. So, you know, and that's just one aspect of who we are and how we conduct our affairs. Yeah. Okay. That's what's caught my interest lately. And I think that if you look at that stuff, if you're a techno nerd and if you have some interest in the future of humanity and the role of the technology and the blockchain in particular is going to play, then you'll see how that stuff ties in. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for the link. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't do a better job of more firmly tying it to, with that stuff, but I'm working on it.
No, that's cool. I think it's still good to bring that stuff in, tie it in as best you can, but it always leads to good discussions. I just had it with what you said. You know, you said earlier when we talked about one of the taboo things in at least our culture is like not talking about religion and politics and things like that. Not only at the dinner table, but in like parties and things like that. And I've always told people that that's probably one of the worst things that we can indoctrinate ourselves with, is the thought that we can't have civil conversations around that stuff. The other one is, and TJH, you mentioned high school, is the lack of funding for civics curriculum in school that was taken away in the 70s has also probably led to where we are today, is that we can't even, they don't even fund rational debates among people in school anymore. So that's a big problem.
It's more nonetheless that it's not like the funding issue. It's more like, because throughout my entire like school years, I've always had to put up with some BS about my particular point of view. Because even when I was a kid, I wasn't indoctrinated into my point of view. I've always been like a left libertarian, like anarchist. I've always had these point of views that, you know, the state's evil and, you know, we should cooperate with each other and not fight against each other. So like the issue with the school is not more nonetheless that certain things aren't funded. It's more nonetheless that you're indoctrinated from a young age to believe that you need to compete with each other and say that, oh yeah, my idea is better than yours. Let's not cooperate with and try and make something that works for both of us. let's fight against each other and give the people in charge exactly what they want.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, is that that stuff used to be built into the curriculum, and you would do that through discussion, debate, formulating ideas, and having those types of discussions. What I'm saying is, since it's gone, and we don't even teach that at a young age, we don't teach any type of civics curriculum, then you have what you have, which is what you're explaining, your reality of when you went to school, and that it's more of a fight. I'm right, you're wrong, because there isn't anything that diffuses it.
Well, and in my experience, you know, it's difficult already when you compel people to go to school from, you know, the time you're 5 years old until, you know, through grade 12. So there's, you know, and then there's this classic question, is taxation socialism? You know, and probably if you go look it up and you look into the definitions and the meanings, it's not really socialism. It's we as a group in a representative Republican democracy have chosen to tax ourselves in this way or that way or the other way, because these funds are all supposedly earmarked and we're going to get a return on that. So it's not strictly socialism. But again, education is socialized. But the problem with that is that you create liabilities, because we don't all have the same political leanings, and we don't all have the same interest, and we don't all have the same stakes. So you get these kids in a school system that they're compelled to attend, and you get teachers who don't talk about dangerous or risky subjects because it creates liability. The school system gets sued, right? And so you combine that with the fact that the school system doesn't exist within a void. They're a capitalist interest, you know, and I'm sure we could find certain examples of this. All I'd do these days is probably look to the cafeteria and find out that, well, there was a school system in Idaho or California or New York, maybe today, certainly 15 or 20 years ago, that decided to outsource their lunch thing to KFC and Pizza Hut and blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm talking about?
So I wish we had that in New York. That would have been great.
But that's the thing is well, the takeaway idea here is that this social approach to public education doesn't exist within a void. It exists within a larger capitalist system that's trying to exert influence. And you probably see that more actually in higher education. You know, MIT was basically paid for or subsidized by the military in the 50s. Go listen to Noam Chomsky. So yeah, it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to try and unravel.
I'd still say that an option would be to defund public school and start sending the children to like a Sudbury school. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a school of which the kids actually have democratic power, where they can vote upon, you know, what they're going to do, and or even directly have the teachers help them pursue what they want to do, instead of having a set curriculum to try and be better than some idiot that's sitting across the world.
Well, and the supposed libertarians would say, well, leave it to the free market. You know, basically, why are we doing socialized education? Leave it to the free market. The free market is best and most effective at managing the various forces at work to determine whether or not you'll get an education, provided we give people opportunities of access, or what is it? Equality of access, equality of opportunity, never mind the outcome. But those people that wave that flag as if it's, you know, the ultimate ideology, they might be wrong as well. You know, you're looking for a balance. So yeah,
the people who say that the free market's going to take care of it really just don't really seem to understand how it's going to work, because once you have people that are going to complain about this and that, then the businesses that run it are going to say, well, all right, we're going to cut this stuff and we're going to fund it on this, and then the next thing you know, everything's automated and no one has any jobs, and they won't even give you a universal basic income to support yourself.
There's some danger with that. You know, it depends on the business model on the back end. If the business model on the back end is to protect your resources and maximize your profit, then why would you be interested in giving people what do they call it, a liberal education where you can be open-minded and have a whole lot of critical thinking? It's more in your interest to create automatons. Be a good drone, and it'll all work out.
You wouldn't believe how many times I've been suspended over the 12 years I've been in school.
I would. I love you for that, man. Takes all kinds.
I told the principal that she's a cunt once.
Oh.
You and
okay.
I would have really been good friends if we'd been in school together.
You may have crossed the line.
I was
there.
a bad kid.
I even got sent to this school for bad kids up in Albany, called Parsons. It was like a couple-hour drive. They would come get me, bring me there, and like they were very fucking strict on everyone. They were like, "Oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that," even more so than the public school. And I'm sitting there like, this is what I get for not following your bullshit.
More bullshit.
So like then my dad had enough.
Hey! So I just saw Katie. Sorry, I got all excited. I saw Katie.
Hello, Patrick and Katie. Did you have enough KFC today?
They don't have their mic on.
Oh.
No mic.
Oh.
No mic.
Everyone that had an issue with me, I either got in a fight with or did some other stupid bullshit that I hold as medals. Because the whole system is very fucked up.
Did you guys did your school like give out tickets for fighting?
Oh, they sent you straight to internal. They just didn't even bother.
Like one of my schools, they used to do a $25 ticket if you fight.
$25 ticket.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I graduated in 2011, so that was elementary.
Oh my god.
They actually had the security guards escort you to like the separate building where they had like one room that was internal suspension, and that's where you would go.
Wait, a ticket for fighting?
Yeah.
A civic penalty for a criminal sort of endeavor? What the fuck is the world coming to?
I know.
Anyway. I still remember, like, when I was living in Europe, it was completely different in Lithuania. If kids just wanted to go fight, there was a corner around the school, and you just go fight, and that's it. And I mean, if the principal comes out, he'll just probably break you up and put you back in class. That's all there was.
And how many school shootings were there?
None.
What I'm saying,
I have the feeling that there aren't that many school shootings in the U.S., but I'm not going to get all conspiratorial.
Yeah, but interesting thing was when I was in Europe. Now that we're speaking about education, I still remember taking faith classes, which was around religion, and then ethics too. And I moved here in 2004, so I was fourth grader. But they were teaching like specific classes for ethics, and like religion. And I guess if I translate it straight up, it would be faith. But it's just completely different. And then I experienced this like paradigm. I don't even know what the hell it was, but when I moved here, I moved to Southside Chicago. So the school was pretty diverse. I had a good mix of African Americans, Latino kids, and everybody else in between, basically. But I just remember the first day that I went to go get lunch. In Europe, we had good lunch, like healthy lunch. You go get soup, you get, not even steak, but just like a chicken cutlet or whatever, mashed potatoes, like something full and whole foods. That's what I would think of. And I still remember the first day that I got this fucking cardboard lunch thingy. It had like a piece of scoop of fruits, milk, and it was just like the shittiest pizza I've ever tasted in my life. And they served me to it. And I'm looking at it and everyone's like eating it. It's like normal. And I'm like, first day foreign kid, I'm like, should I eat this? Should I not? And everyone's like looking at me.
I told the lunch lady, this is worth $2.
Well, I thought what was interesting is you segued from this education that had to do with ethics, but it was centered around faith, but it had to do with an understanding of philosophy to this soulless meal, right? And what I talk about all the time is I talk about capitalism per se is not a bad thing. It does a great job. But if we engage in capitalism, and this all points back to Bitcoin, hello, if we engage in capitalism in a way that is without morality and ethics, that is soulless, then we get to where we are. And interestingly enough, my thing here lately is that the one thing that needs to happen is at a younger age, children need to be engaging ideas of philosophy. Children should be educated in ideas of philosophy. But the problem is, in the current system of public education, those are the very sorts of lessons and sort of that kind of thing that's not without liability. That shit's risky. You know, talking to kids about philosophy, just beginning philosophy 101, ethics 101, that's risky as a topic. But that's what, you know, if you grow up and you're just propelled through this system that's avoided all of philosophy and an understanding of ethics and all of the difficulties presented due to liability, then you come out the other end and you know you're reading, you're writing, and your arithmetic, but you don't know how to deal in the realm of ideas. So,
yeah, and that's where something happened too. I lived in Southside Chicago for 2 years, and once they approved, the whole street actually was completely all foreigners. It was Polish, it was Arabic, it was Mexican and Lithuanian people, just the whole street. And then once the government approved Section 8, Section 9 housing, everyone scattered. But I moved to this town, which I live in right now, and it's mostly Polish, Lithuanian, and mostly white, predominantly white. But I remember the first day being in school. And I don't want to judge anybody or anything, but it was literally what I imagined in Europe watching the movies, like what school was. I saw the white chicks, cliques, you know, the cheerleaders, the cool kids. Like, it was so, like, it was the weirdest moment in my life. It was almost like a trip. And I remember I just never wanted to be in school. I was the worst student in my high school. The only classes that I did really good was physics and I think it was woods. So those are the only two classes that did something. And I remember my teachers never, like, hated me. And I was like top 3 worst students every year. And my counselor did some work, helped me out to graduate high school. But my teachers were never mad. Like, I saw other kids that were doing obviously better than me and better rating through class, I guess the year rating or whatever. I was like in the bottom 300s. They were pissed off at them more than me. I don't know why they spoke to me like an adult the whole time. But just being in that school, like, predominantly, I don't want to say white, but it was predominantly white, and it was like this suburban type of school where everybody had money and, you know, everybody lived the perfect life. So because maybe no one had any struggle, it was more liberal.
Right. Adversity brings growth.
Paulie, sorry if I missed it. Where are you from, or where were you from? Or
Lithuania.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Interesting. How long have you been here then?
Since 2004.
Okay.
I'm originally from NYC, and I moved upstate around 2010.
Well, way to get out of the hustle and bustle there, TJH.
Yes, I would say
went for more of a low-key lifestyle.
To be honest, you know, it's definitely more interesting than up here.
I'm sure. What were you saying, Paulie?
Oh, I was just gonna say, add to that I think more importantly, I lived like the most important life in the United States, because I mean I moved here in 2004, so I was 10 years old, and now obviously grew up being an adult here. But I still notice when people argue in the politics, I still notice like my Eastern influences. Like I'm able to separate myself, and I'm able to project everything to different sides, like liberal, conservatives, and I'm able to listen to everybody instead of like jumping on the bandwagon, like, oh yeah, this is me, like this is what I'm gonna fight for, you know.
I made fucking hardcore fun of all of them, like, because there was this group of kids that like just debated in like the lunchroom. So I sat down on their table and I was like switching my my point of view and my political party every day just to fuck with their heads, and then finally telling them I'm anarchist and I think they're all retarded.
And I remember when we talked about just recently, you talked about like the violence, or not violence, just people, I guess, struggling about that video that you just ESP.
Okay.
One thing, I had like a paradigm shift as well during design when I was in design school. It was during a research phase. I think we were working on a dog walking startup. But the interesting thing, I train jiu-jitsu too, so probably jiu-jitsu is watching, but I train jiu-jitsu, and I mean, I train with killers. Like, I've trained with killers before that people are able to kill you within like 10 seconds, but none of us want to fight outside a gym. And I remember just people worrying about useless problems in the project. I mean, there are important problems because you're moving somewhere, right? Design direction. You're moving towards that goal, finishing that design. But I just remember, I'm like, wow, these people don't even know what a real struggle is. They've never been in a chokehold. They've never struggled or anything. They're just there worrying about, or just, I guess, expending that emotion or energy that's not really necessary, where you can take a step back and think through a logical lens a little bit more. So it definitely surprised me a lot.
Well, and in evolution, generally, you've got some conflict that
You've
has
got to
to
go. Sorry, ESP.
Bye, you. It's
I
all good.
muted myself. I
Bye,
gotta
you.
go.
Get out of here.
Peace. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
Take care.
I'm trying.
All right.
Sorry, ESP.
So, what I was saying, and as I've mentioned this before, is that, you know, in evolution, you see conflict that gets resolved in a win-lose manner, but you see other forces of evolution that play out in more of a finding cooperation and, better still, coordination. And that's the way I think, you know, as rational human beings, and I've also mentioned this before, Steven Pinker points to progress, science, and humanism as being the things that have worked for us historically, you know, that really have saved us and enabled us to survive. And those are the things that are probably going to keep us, you know, alive, as well as the stuff that with the potential to stop harming the globe the way that we are, you know, to avoid ecological collapse. Science, progress, and humanism, rooted in that branch of evolution that has to do with cooperation and coordination, rather than let's kill each other. By killing them, things are going to get better. Probably not. I don't. No one knows. Bingo. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And we're going to have to be coordinated in a way we've never been coordinated, because we're connected in a way that we've never been connected, and because the entire planet is at stake, rather than, you know, the lake is drying up. Yeah.
Yeah, like they even yell at you when you're in school if you want to talk to someone. They're like, "Get back to work, asshole," or you're gonna go see the principal or some stupid bullshit.
Classic approach: divide and conquer.
Like I said, I've gotten suspended and thrown in internal millions of times. That's just being sarcastic. I don't actually know the number, but
I'm gonna bounce.
Or the KFC.
Or sing us Philadelphia Freedom. That would be cool. Or what's Benny and the Jets? You know.
Get it?
he went in the KFC probably.
Hey.
There you go. Hey.
The concert was amazing.
Awesome.
Did he sing Crocodile Rock?
Oh yeah, it was one of the best ones.
Did he sing Your Song?
Oh, of course.
I love that one.
It was his favorite tour, so he sang all of them.
The funniest thing about Elton John is there's this local musician that calls himself Felton John, and he wrote a song called Yellow Piss Road.
All right.
Okay, well.
That old Yellow Piss Road. I'm out. Good to see you all. Thanks for everything. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, good
I
night.
mean that.
Just randomly showing up out of nowhere. That's just how I am. Definitely look into liquid democracy, because the sooner we get into something like that, the more we can work with each other and actually better our world. I am working on a gothic rock song about the world and how I see it from my eyes, explaining that, a lot of people, because they're fighting with each other, don't want to understand that that's actually what the world is. So also look forward to that at some point later this year.
Cool. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Anyone else? Any things we need to upvote? Things we need to look at? Or anything else you need to get off your chest before we get out of here?
Did you guys get a chance to talk about Share to Steam at all?
Yes,
We
I was
did.
the one who brought it up.
Sweet.
Oh, you're going to take credit for that? We're going to have to rewind the tape and see if that's actually what happened.
I'm saying pause it. We're at the end.
But Jiu-Jitsu, actually, Patrick, Jiu-Jitsu he downloaded it and started using it right while we were live and has already connected it with his Instagram account and likes it.
I love it. It's just a great
me and whoever else said it can have a boxing match to determine who said it first.
Yeah, all right. Well, then let's just say Jiu-Jitsu said it first, and you can take him on. Yeah, so
anyway,
it came up. We're all going to use it, and I haven't yet, but I'm looking forward to.
No, yeah. I'm just excited about thinking about the different ways we can utilize it. So,
Yeah, the setup was really easy, and y'all said it, and I went and set up my Instagram account almost instantly and did my first post, and that's one of the things. I double post almost every Instagram picture I do. I post a Steem it through Partico or Steep Shot or something anyways. So now you just saved me a step. Granted, you might want to go back and edit the title, but it looks like every hashtag you put in there, it'll include in the Steem it post. So that's a good thing. The best thing is it's simple,
That's cool.
And they'll add things.
I personally can't see myself putting back together my Instagram because I just don't trust Facebook. But
I don't really do Instagram, so it wouldn't be useful for me. But I'm interested about like what we talked about is because Patrick, you weren't here, but Gone Rogue actually streamed tonight's show to BitTube, and I streamed to Vim.
Yes, I use that too.
Yeah, so it'll be we can still have the steaming pile, and then everyone who wants to stream can stream to their platform of choice. And I think definitely using Share to Steam to do that could be cool too, especially with the YouTube stuff. Some people don't use YouTube, but
I'm certain that currently it's only compatible with YouTube at this time.
Yeah.
Like every time I use like BitTube or something like that, I have to actually manually put the link in there.
Yep. And Patrick, the other thing that we did is we told Paulius that he's in charge of us Narashi's gonna get together emoji or an emoticon for the steaming pile, and we're gonna send it to Paulius, and we're gonna get Sharon to put that on
Sharon.
and make it available in the chat.
Speaking of another person I got to torment just yesterday.
I'm getting
Well,
I'm getting good
tormented
insight.
Like Katie gets tormented. He actually liked my bullshit.
That's awesome on the emote news, though. I think that'd be really cool for the pile.
It would, wouldn't it?
I'll send him a message after this. Because they got the Eric Wilson one, so why not?
That's what I told him. I said, dude, if Eric Wilson can have an emote, steaming pile. Mm-hmm.
Why not? Why not?
All right, everyone.
I'm heading
I'll
out.
get on Waymon for my own emote too. You know, I'll say, hey, where's mine?
Dude, if you get one before the steaming pile gets one, I'm never gonna stream on Vim again.
Ah,
I'll tell Shiren.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, I'll tell both Shiren and Waymon.
Oh my gosh, the only
I have
question.
them on Discord and personal chats.
See, that's the only question is who's gonna get them the emote first. It's on now.
Well, first I got to get my own, so then
I'm surprised you don't as the marketing guy. I'm surprised. Like that would have been the first thing I've done. Would have been put up my own face.
now you're getting me mad. Now I'm definitely gonna message him.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. You should.
You've got a list now.
It's gonna be.
Just got off the pile and listen, man. Come on.
So next week is free for all, and then we're gonna come back full circle in 2 weeks and do a steaming pile dedicated to politics. And since it is, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say next week we might have Steven Spinola from Twitter. He's a guy that actually, he I guess signed up a while ago, but doesn't post here because I was like, man, we're doing a show. I was going to have him on a show before I was on the blockchain, and then I did this and kind of forgot about it, and now I'm starting it again and reached out to him, and he's like, oh, actually have an account. So he might jump in next week. He's a comedian, I think, somewhere in the East Coast, and so yeah, I was trying to get him back in, and so he might jump on and check it out. So
cool. And then hopefully we're gonna have to do another special episode for the Steam Hunt folks because they're in Ireland, and he could come on at 1:30 in the.
We got our Guinness.
You don't drink.
Well, I do have Irish descent.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, guys and ladies. That's it for the steaming pile. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Good night, everyone.
Later.
See.
So long. Let's see. Come on.